Now entering Nerdist.com.
Honky Honky Housewives show.
There it is.
We were just talking about this song.
It's one of the most awesome of the themes because everything's wrong.
And yet it adds up to all right
Yes.
to me.
Wait, to all right? It's just all right?
Or all of it is correct, and it's all right, baby. Oh. I truly, truly love this song because it's so batshit crazy.
There's a lot happening.
This is John Barry's least favorite of all the Bond
Yeah,
scores.
and they
that
gave
he
him,
did.
a week to do the whole score or whatever.
It sounds like one of those songs, like, I feel like we could all have careers as songwriters because this sounds like one of those songs you write on the way, like in the car, on the way to the meeting.
Or like as a Channel 101 parody theme song.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's got the 70s Waka Waka guitars here and the...
And xylophone.
It's a great bridge, though.
Yeah. He comes just before the kill.
Gross.
Some say gross. I say it's telling life like it is. You know? From what I know of assassins, they go have sex right before they kill people. This is verite. This is telling it like it is.
I don't like that. I really feel like whoever was in charge of this recording told Lulu, look, Lulu, we love you. We love Lulu. But can you sound like Bertha Kitt? Can you
Oh, yeah,
can you not
Shirley
be,
Bassey, yeah.
Or Shirley Bassey, I
Yeah.
mean.
And please don't modulate. Sing as loud as you can.
You bet that they went to Shirley Bassey and even she was like, look, you know I'll do all of these that you want, but not this one. This is ridiculous.
She signed
Get
up for
Lulu.
2 more, right?
Bassey? Yeah, she did Moonraker after
And
this.
Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, that was before. That was, right
yeah,
before
you're
that. Well, this is James Bonding.
We're back.
With Matt and Matt. And my apologies, we meant to play the wonderful theme song by Paul and Storm, but for some reason it is not on my phone anymore. So we'll lay it in at the end of this episode because it's a goddamn instant classic. I
Yeah,
think.
sure is. It really is
What's that
spectacular.
one?
Paul and Storm did a theme song for us that is basically...
for your show.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Matt and Matt to the tune of the James Bond theme, and it's
Yeah.
all a cappella.
Yeah, the only words to the song are Matt and Matt, James Bonding.
Yeah.
Gorley, Myra. Yeah,
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But we'll lay it in at the end of this. Now, our guests today, 2 distinguished gentlemen. No, that's right. They're here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't look behind you guys. It's you.
Where?
We're talking about you.
Greg Proops and Jeff Davis. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Matt.
Welcome to James Bonding.
Yeah.
Hi, Mats.
Oh.
So you guys got the pleasure of Roger Moore's second outing as James Bond.
Yeah.
The Man with the Golden Gun, which I believe did not do great at the box office.
No, this and License to Kill, I think, were the 2 major underperformers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our back-to-back movies. That was the last movie we did.
Yeah.
We're an underperformer
License to
season.
Kill is a Dalton one, was it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you listen closely to Gladys Knight, I used to go to a curry house on Berwick Street in London.
Already I love this
And
story.
they would play, all they had to play, evidently every night when we went there to get drunk, was License to Kill theme song. And I've heard it so many times. And we would all be sitting there drinking, and she would go, I got a license. Gladys Knight, of all people.
Yeah.
I've got a license to kill. She says kill like half the time. It's so good. Now, I saw this in the theater when it came out. I went to the movie theater. I want to say I saw it with my dad.
Is
Because,
this your first Bond movie in the theater?
Oh, no. I'm old. I saw Goldfinger, I think, in the movie theater. My first one that I really remember was You Only Live Twice, because it was 75 cents at the Laurel Theater in
Oh,
San
my
Carlos.
God.
And it
Wow.
had hot Asian chicks in it.
Yeah.
Sure
And
did.
My favorite Blofeld.
Oh, Donald
Donald Pleasence.
Yeah. He's the best.
And he gets if you remember, Sean Connery gets an operation in that one so that his eyes are more Asian, so he'll pass as Japanese.
Yeah.
The 6.5 foot tall
Yeah.
Scottish bald dude
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
suddenly a Japanese guy.
Yeah, and he slouches the whole time to seem shorter.
I'm
and
a
it's
little bit
just
shorter.
weird.
I'm a ninja. Yes. There was no. I saw this in the theater, and because they had brought back J.W. Pepper,
Yeah.
and we were.
Oh, God.
You have to understand from a '70s point of view. One, we thought it was cheesy then.
I'm glad you're here to talk about this because
Yeah.
we were last night trying to figure out the context of did this work back then, bringing him back? So tell us, yeah.
It was corny. I mean, first of all, Live and Let Die works purely on bravado.
Yeah, I love that
because.
movie.
It's a good picture. The Avocado's a great villain, and they got Paul McCartney to do the theme song. And the Mad Magazine parody, I remember. The first panel is a drawing of Roger Moore with M, and it says, "We brought this franchise back with a cast of unknowns led by me." And M says, "Yeah, but we got Paul McCartney to do the theme song." So this was the big follow-up. And so you only live. Live and Let Die.
Yep.
It's a total voodoo, blaxploitation. They're just lifting everything that was popular.
Yep.
So this is like what, a year or two later.
Yeah.
Now it's Chop
Kung Fu.
Saki.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've stolen every Bruce Lee riff.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
you've just the kitchen bloody sink, and then the total Smoking the Bandit, Jerry Reed, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
Stuff got dumped in there.
But
that's
that,
what we're-
that predates Smoking the Bandit.
That's what we couldn't figure out.
What's his name? The actor who plays the comic relief guy?
Oh golly, I can't remember his name.
Clifton
James or something
Clifton
like that?
James, I think. Yeah.
That's what Matt and I were that's he's doing Buford T. Justice from Smoking the
Yeah, but
Bandit,
it's 2 years before,
It's
2 or
before
3.
Smoking the Bandit.
Buford's doing him.
Yeah.
But they already had all those hillbilly movies from those days.
Yeah.
There was already a whole string of
it's kind of
riding around in car movies.
Or it's a Slim Pickens from like The Getaway or
yeah,
something like
it's
that.
Macon County Line and
yeah,
all
okay.
those bloody movies.
So that's crazy that in the last 2 movies, all they do is pull B-movie genre stuff, kung fu, blaxploitation, hillbilly convoy type movies. That's nuts.
Because also General Motors gave them the cars, and they're in Asia.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's like an AMC
I also
Pacer and
enjoy
An AMC.
the idea that the sheriff from Louisiana would be car shopping on vacation.
It's so ham-fisted.
It's really disappointing that there's a protracted comic relief car chase.
Well, I just want to. What I like to do is read the when it's like a 2-line log line in Wikipedia of the character. I'm going to go ahead and read Sheriff J.W. Pepper's log line. Sheriff J.W. Pepper is a parish sheriff in Louisiana. He appears in Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun, played by Clifton James. He is mostly used as comic relief, especially and memorably for his somewhat bigoted attitudes and his tendency to speak loudly about whatever is on his mind.
Pointy heads.
Pointy heads. He says it 17 times. He keeps calling Asian people pointy heads.
Well, in Live and Let Die, he calls black people boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the racist sheriff was already hilarious by '73. We were already loving that character, and my dad was beside himself with joy in both of these movies. The redneck sheriff was there.
So when you're saying that when you saw Man with the Golden Gun and J.W. Pepper returns,
Oh no! Cheers.
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 In the
I'm not
theater,
surprised.
people remembered him from the first one. You have to understand these jokes worked then. Now it's like. Let me be gentle about this. In 20 years' time, when you watch Happy Madison or Grown Ups 3 or whatever, some of the jokes aren't going to work.
20 years. Very generous.
Part of the reason.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you watch Joe Dirt now, it doesn't always hold together like it did.
Or then.
But that's and maybe we're getting the cart before the horse here, because the big talking point in that car chase is what it culminates in with that spiral flip.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we have to
Oh,
get
that's one of the great stunts.
Generally, part of the reason I love this movie and Live and Let Die is because it does steal from these genres that are technically beneath a Bond movie. Like, you think of the Bond movies as the greatest in luxury and travel and all that sort of thing, and they pull from these weird B-movie sources, and it's the one time in the Bond series, or not the one time, but a chunk of it that Bond doesn't really know what it is. Like, it has to reinvent itself and find... It's trying to pull from these other sources, and it seems so odd, but there's something I like watching the series find its feet again. And then you get back to the formula with Spy Who Loved Me. Like, it's basically a copy of...
Yeah, but you get back to that formula, but then immediately they decide, what's popular again? Oh, space movies. Let's throw them in space.
Moonraker's the worst.
Now, Greg, how old would you have been?
14.
14.
So you have to remember, I'm their audience, right? 14-year-old boys. So he's competing with, at this point, Bruce Lee, Shaft. There's been every great blaxploitation movie's come out by this point. Every great Chop Saki, Fist of Fury, Five Fingers of Death, and all this. So the Bond movies are like, we got to do something to get the kids in here.
Now, but at that time, what was your feeling about the Bond franchise when there was a new Bond movie? Were you super stoked about it, or had it kind of run its course in some ways? Was it kind of?
I was already over it by Diamonds Are Forever because he came back with the kind of the toupee and he was a little chunky in that one. And although that one had the gay bad guys, which was super hip for those days.
I love those guys.
No, you could tell they were flailing, and like I said, even then, I remember when the theme came out, going Lulu. Like you reached back for Lulu.
Wait, To Sir with Lulu?
Yeah. So she wasn't the hippest choice she could have made in '74. Like then later, you remember they had Duran Duran do one when Duran Duran was happening, and that one sticks out like a sore thumb because even though they play it all the time in concerts,
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Now it sort of fits in, but at the time you were like, this isn't like a Bond one. We want Shirley Bassey.
I remember being disappointed when Duran Duran sang "View to a Kill."
Yep.
What were your feelings then when Lazenby took over? How did that work for you?
Well, I was hotted up because Diana Rigg was in that one,
Yeah.
so I was
Yeah.
pretty bloody excited about that. But then that was just not a very good movie. movie. It's a little bit dull, as I recall. And even though I love Telly Savalas, and my dad took me to see that one, there was a bit much skiing in that one for me.
Oh, yeah.
I get a little bored with the skiing. But
We on this podcast we recommend rewatching Honor Majesty.
is it a good?
Yeah.
I remember he
Yeah.
wore a kilt and someone wrote in lipstick on his leg.
Sure he did,
when I was
yeah.
9 or 10, I thought nothing was hotter than that.
I've always thought that was one of my
It's
favorites.
still true.
It is actually. It does. It is. I will
Is it
say.
better than
Rewatch
I
it,
remember?
Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he any good as
he's
Bond?
dull.
Oh.
But
He's
and
dull.
the movie is a little plotting, but in the same sense that the Fleming book is. It takes its time. It's the closest to any of the books.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how's Diana Rigg? I don't even remember.
She's great. She's great.
She's
She's
probably
so
the best
smoking.
thing
She's still
in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so smoking.
Fresh off an Emmy nomination for Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, she
yeah.
does.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
as a guest star, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. God bless her.
What was she in Game of Thrones?
I don't know.
Lady,
She's on a-
Lady Tyrell.
An ancient,
Old lady.
The lady that loves figs and cheese and whatnot.
Yeah.
right. She wears a big thing on her head and whatnot.
That's her defining characteristics. She loves figs and cheese, right?
She's always talking about cheese and shit.
Yeah.
Dinah Rigg is amazing.
Oh.
Well, can we talk about the chicks in this movie, or are we still on the genres?
Well, we like
the
to-
genre
we like
lifting
to-
is amazing in these two movies because
Yeah.
you've added hillbilly
Yep.
road race movies, chase movies. And in this one, all of a sudden, there's a bunch of hot Asian people. 2 people wipe out an entire dojo in one scene, which
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
And Bond is supposed to know jujitsu, right, from the early ones? But in this
Oh.
one, he gets a little dirty. He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Too much body
Kicks the
flipping
guy in
and
the
touching
face.
Asian people.
Let's go through it. We'll go through the movie beat by beat.
Well, Jeff. What was the first James Bond movie you saw in the theater?
Oh, that's hard to say. I don't know.
Living Daylights.
I don't know. I mean, I would have seen him very young.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's possible. What would have been like in the very late 70s?
That would have been the
Moonraker, Spy Love Me.
Moonraker.
Octopussy.
My first was
During the Jaws comedy relief years.
Yeah.
Octopussy I definitely saw, and Octopussy will
Octopussy.
always be one of my favorites because I do love Louis Jourdain.
Oh, me too.
You cannot give me bad Louis
Yep.
Jourdain. Is it the one? Is it they play backgammon in that one, right?
Yeah.
They sure do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say we use your dice? Louis Jourdain. Mr. Bond, what do you say we double it? I'm feeling lucky. Backgammon? That's so rad.
It's so great.
And then what's the one when they have Klaus Maria Brandauer playing that?
Oh, that's Never Say Never
That's
Again.
never say
laser
never.
game.
The laser game.
laser
That's
game.
the
No,
unofficial
Kim
Bond.
Basinger.
Yeah.
give me some goddamn backgammon. They made that interesting.
Well, how about in the crappy Casino Royale remake one? They play high stakes Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
Like what?
Because-
James Bond doesn't
Well,
play
they had
Hold'em.
to. They had to
switch it.
Gross.
We're huge
Baccarat.
Casino Royale apologists here over here.
We don't have to apologize for anything. It's great.
You're right.
I mean,
didn't
I
think the
get
movie
the
was bad.
Texas.
I
The
just didn't
Texas
like the
Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em.
I did think that was pandering
I was
a bit.
bummed when I heard that too. Now, Jeff and I are friends from all the way back to 7th grade, and around 8th grade is when I got into my first Bond phase. But I don't remember us ever hanging out and doing Bond things or
No,
anything.
you did have a Walther PPK.
That's right.
That's right.
Did you?
Well, a replica.
Well, obviously,
They were
you
these
were a child.
Japanese. No, just a full armory. They had these replica guns.
Do pay attention, Mr. Gorley.
Put that down, Mr. Davis.
Radioactive lint from my carpet. Or something. I don't know what that means. But we never really watched Bond movies. We were into Platoon.
I was going to say, the era had changed by then.
We did. I mean, this is shocking to think of what we used to do. Matt had these replica guns. We had a Mac 10 or 11.
Mac 11.
Mac
But
11.
I should say that these were imports from Japan that you could build, and they would fire blanks, fully automatic, and eject brass shells.
Oh, no.
And
How dangerous is that?
and muzzle flare. He
Yeah.
had replica AK-47. We did I did a presentation in my senior year in high school in Whittier, California, and about Vietnam, and I brought Matt's AK-47 on campus.
Wow.
And those days are gone. But Matt and I, do you remember the closest we got to doing anything Bond-like? We went to the Whitwood Mall with you. You had maybe the PPK, and I had the Walther P38.
Yeah.
And we had them in our belts, like under our shirts, and we'd just walk around the mall with replica, very realistic-looking firearms on us.
This is obviously
Those are the days.
pre-Columbine. It might have even been pre-David Horowitz when he got held up on the news, and that's why all the
Yeah.
orange tips went on the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Well, remember in senior year, I ran for publicity of ASB, and my speech was, I promised to eliminate bad publicity.
And this is in front of what, 500 kids?
the entire student body in the gym my friend Jeff Gothard comes out in a paper sandwich board that says bad publicity, and I had figured out how to make electronic blood pack squibs, so I wired them up, pulled out my Mac 11.
No girlfriend, huh?
No.
Matt and I were late bloomers.
Evidently.
My work was my girlfriend.
Yes, I understand.
And I
Being alone is so
machine gunned
important.
him in front of the student body,
I
blew him
machine
away.
gunned him.
And I never got so much as a reprimand, only like, oh, you're so clever. You know,
Yeah.
there was no sense of,
Oh, my God.
like any of that stuff. And
Yeah.
you could never do that.
No.
I think the closest we got to Bond was like it was when you hold the Walther PPK, you cannot help but conjure up James Bond in your
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
So and you have to do the
Yeah.
straight to camera,
Right.
opening pose.
Yeah.
With a small pork pie hat. So when I was really little, when I was like 5, my father's friend Dave Campbell bought me the James Bond attaché. And it was
Yes, I know of
So
that.
it came as an attaché. You flip the switch, it turned into a machine gun. There was, it opened up.
Did the knife come out the handle?
Yeah, the knife came out the handle. There was a Leica or a Nikon replica,
Yeah.
and that turned into a Luger. And then there was an AM/FM radio, which was a big deal in those days, like a pre-boombox, and that turned into a Tommy gun. And there was a pen that shot ink, whatnot, that to blind you and shit.
Does it have the little gold sovereigns on a belt?
Oh my god! It was. I remember getting it, and I was never so happy with a Christmas
bet.
present.
I bet.
I'm happy just thinking about you having that at 5
And
years
so
old.
I was still going to Sunday school then, right? I quit church at about 7, but when I was like 6, I went to Sunday school, and my parents bought me this blue suit with a white shirt and a clip-on tie. And I would say after Sunday school was over, "Can I keep the suit on?" And they'd be like, "Okay." And then I'd take my Star Trek tracer gun and be James Bond in the apartment building and just run up and down the halls and shoot cats and shit and fucking. But you had to have the suit, right? As soon as the
Yeah,
suit was on, it
yeah.
was like you couldn't play James Bond like you were a little kid.
Did you shoot Pussy Galore?
If only.
When I was in my
Yes,
mom's...
that was it. That's the one I had. See, and there's the Luger and everything.
Yeah.
So dope.
It was
That's,
really dope. Oh,
you
God,
can-
I wish I had any... I even had the camera up till a few years ago. I don't know what happened to
You
it.
could recapture this for
What are those-
$1,600 on eBay.
I bet it cost $8 when it came out. And the ad on TV was a guy walking along in a suit, and he put the attaché down. The attaché had the knife, so you could put it up to people and Goldfinger them.
I've told this before, but when my mom got remarried in 6th grade, I had a tux, and so I wore a little gun inside.
Like James Bond.
During the ceremony. Yeah, I just had to have one on me in case.
Well,
the
when were
wedding
we
got-
dressed up when you're little?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
went to Sunday school. It was like, oh, now I'm James Bond.
I was
because
always.
I got the thing.
We
and,
dressed up to go everywhere when I was a kid. I remember like just tying ties as a little kid. Like this is such bullshit. Like now it's like I look back at it. It's so funny. I remember just hating to put on suits, but when you do. And also, I think I had a powder blue suit, which makes you feel incredibly Bondy. Because it's not Bond without powder blue.
No,
Did you say that you were having some terry cloth short shorts made up for
I'm
you?
having
sure
a
is.
onesie?
I'm
He sure
having
is.
a play suit like in Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Blue terry cloth.
Blue Terry onesie.
Yeah, short.
When he goes up to Jill or whatever her name is.
You have to
Dink.
Do you know how confident you have to be as a performer, as an actor, to walk
yeah.
around?
We'll
with that?
see, because I'm going to wear it in Dead Authors. I'm doing Ian Fleming on September
nice.
6th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember too, nothing was uncooler than the Bond franchise. Like when it first started, the first 2 or 3, it's kind of in its time, and then by the end of the '60s, it's so old-fashioned, and then by the '70s. There's feminism and gay rights, and people don't want to be called pointy heads and stuff. You know, like
Sure.
you know, things have kind of changed. So it's in the last 4 or 5, they've made fun of the fact that he's
Yeah.
a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But if you remember, is it in Goldfinger, one of the early ones? He says something about the Beatles that
Yeah.
he doesn't like the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's like listening to the
Beatles
Beatles without earmuffs.
Right, like how uncool is James
Yeah,
Bond? He doesn't
yeah.
fucking like the Beatles, like
Yeah,
so.
he dated himself quickly.
Yeah. By the time we get to this one, Bond is like this wine aficionado who's in Asia, who's acting all superior to people, and they're very patronizing
Yeah.
and sort of awesome. You know.
Well, let's jump into it, shall
Okay.
we?
Yes, please.
In fact,
let's break it down.
I'm going to start with a little treat here.
Hopefully, it's a Maud Adams glamour reel because you cannot give me bad Maud Adams.
You can't. It can't be done.
No, her jaw is you could shape metal with it.
She is
We're gonna
boom boomalicious.
take a call from someone really special right now. Allow us to go back in time here and let me turn this up a little bit.
Bonjour.
I'd like to speak to Hervé Villachez, please.
Speaking. Who is this?
Hi, this is Matt Gorley, Matt Myra, Jeff Davis, and Greg Proops from the James Bonding podcast. We're big fans.
Ah, bonjour. Comment ça va?
Ça va bien?
How are you, Hervé? We want to talk a little bit about your work on The Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh, yes. Well, I play character Knick-Knack. He's like star of the movie.
Well, I don't know if he's the star of the movie. I think Roger Moore is the star of the movie.
Have you watched the movie?
Yeah, I just watched it a couple nights ago. Did they tell you were the star?
You don't have to tell me I'm the star. Look at Roger Moore is that old woman, nudist, spent very much time in the sun. It's like the meat is falling off of his old bones.
Now, did you have any kind of friendships with Britt Eklund or Maude Adams on the set?
Oh, we're very good friends. We go out. We play naughty games together. We run lines.
Naughty games?
What sort of naughty games did you
Naughty
play?
game.
What, can you describe one of the naughty games?
Well, for example, right now, 4 men in a room standing around a phone. There are some naughty games the 4 of you could play.
Oh, Hervé. Oh, you're a buttercup.
You could play, which way should I dial next?
Hervé, at the end of the movie, when you're up on top of you're tied to the mast of the ship. That was for real, wasn't it?
It was demeanor. I did not agree to that.
Oh, how did that happen? How did they get you up there?
They told me there was a bunch of peels in the bottom of the bag.
Oh, now, Hervé, this
To
is
be fair,
what?
it's not the first time I ended up in a rucksack.
Yeah, I thought it was a little diminishing of your talents when they put you inside the suitcase, and treat you like some.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm also surprised. You sound awfully good right now. I was surprised to hear you so.
I have a time-traveling phone.
Oh, you do? Okay,
yeah,
good. Okay,
yeah.
good.
We're able to go back in time. Hervé, what's up with your life currently?
Wait, what?
Oh, nothing. Don't disregard that. Don't worry about it. What's up with your
Why
life?
you need time travel for? Why you not calling me now?
No, I am calling you now, but I'm actually calling from the future.
Why just call me? What happened?
I'm calling from the future from 2014.
Oh, tell me what happened.
Well, I'm a little afraid to tell you about your future, but let's say things are...
It got dark. Woo, it got dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
Hey, you know what? The James Bond franchise is still going.
Of course it is. It's probably now called James and Knick-Knack.
I did notice that in this movie, you're one of the only henchmen, other than maybe Jaws, to not be dispatched. You could technically come back as a character.
I explained that to them. I said, you got to think franchise opportunity. You have to say marketing. How many child want to have Knick-Knack costume for Halloween?
Oh, well, Knick-Knack, what are you currently up to? Are you working on any projects?
Well, I'm, of course, developing a script for Knick-Knack 2, Into the Jungle. It's very exciting. Entertaining enough for right now for a character called Boss Hogg on a pilot called Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, you want to play Boss Hogg, huh?
I'm very interested. Very interested.
Okay.
I think there's a character called Daisy Duke. I think Boss Hogg and Daisy have adult relationship. I don't know what we can say with 4 men on a phone.
Yeah, you can
But,
say. Speak freely here. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd probably crawl inside her.
We all wanted to.
I'm just imagining Hervé inside of that giant Cadillac Boss Hogg drove around.
Oh, yeah, you've seen me drive on the Hollywood Boulevard. At Apple Box.
Are you currently
Apple
seeing?
Box on seat.
Are you currently seeing anyone right now, Hervé?
Right now, Barbara Bach and I are sort of not talking to each other, but it's possible we get back together.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we just wanted to check in with you. This is a real pleasure for us, Hervé. Thank you so much for taking some time out of the past to talk with us.
You know what? I love talking to groups of men. It's just fun for fellas to be fellas. And,
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Hervé. Don't kill yourself.
Hey, is Chris Tallman
What?
there? Can you hand the phone over to Chris Tallman really quickly?
for un moment. Hello?
Hi, Chris.
Jesus, this phone smells like rum. What is going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our friend Chris Tallman, and he knows Hervé Villechaize, and he was the one that was able to hook up that meeting. So thank you, Chris.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm on my second coffee of the morning, so things are good.
We're talking Man with the Golden Gun here. Do you have any thoughts on that movie, really briefly?
I loved it because it felt like it was getting sci-fi-y. Just watching him put that gun together, it made my little Star Wars-loving brain freak out. It was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's good stuff.
How are you otherwise? Good?
Oh, things are lovely. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Chris, Jeff Davis here. How you
I
doing,
love
buddy?
this new podcast, which is just fellas just shitting it. Just fucking around.
Just shitting it. That's what it's called, just shitting it.
Just shitting it.
Just shitting it.
You know, a lot of podcasts focus too much on being entertaining the whole time. And I think that there's a lot of overemphasis on that.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, let's just have a moment of
I
silence.
like this.
Well, Chris,
It's sort of like a background podcast, stuff to do the dishes by.
Just described all podcasts.
yeah, that's the other title. Just stuff to do the dishes by. Chris, thank you very much for hooking us up with Hervé. That was much appreciated.
Nope. I'm just so delighted that you guys are all awake this time of the day. It's just
know.
exciting.
I'm shocked myself.
Chris Tallman, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye,
Thank
Chris.
you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the button.
All right, so let's briefly go into the run through of this movie, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Starts off on a lovely island, where my favorite line, perhaps in all of James Bond, is spoken, yelled by Christopher Lee. Knick-knack, Tabasco.
Give your dog a bone.
I have it queued up. If I could just pull this for just so we can hear it.
Please.
I would also like to know what it is he's requesting Tabasco.
I see.
for.
I missed that. Matt and I watched it together a couple nights ago, and one of us must have been talking, and I missed that line because
I don't remember that either.
Next thing I know is Hervé is coming out with a Tabasco on a silver salver.
Oh, here it is. Ready,
He's
everybody?
having a black velvet.
Take back Tabasco!
Wow.
Louder, Christopher. We need you to project across the island.
Something tells me that he didn't even think they were rolling, and he's just taking Hervé as his little man.
I love him
servant.
so much in this movie.
He's
He's so on fire in this
God.
period of his career.
Now, the first thing that comes that when I was watching it, and I'd seen this movie a very long time ago, and it didn't. Not a lot of memories came back to me. What I was blown away by is that when I first saw Christopher Lee there, I asked Matt, "Who is that?" Because I thought it was Ricardo Montalban. And then that's before you see Hervé come out.
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, wow.
And then is this are they goofing on Fantasy Island? No, it's before
This is
Fantasy
before Fantasy
Island.
Island, yeah.
But there he is in his little white tuxedo, bringing things to the boss, and it's really like Fantasy Island certainly.
Well, they were laying the groundwork for other 70s magnificence during this picture.
Yeah, this film takes and gives.
It really does.
Jack Palance was who they originally wanted for this film.
Oh, I'd have
And
enjoyed
he turned
that.
it down.
Knick-knack. Tabasco.
Let me borrow that. So we
You are
open
scaring me.
with a funhouse assassination scene with that Rodney, which is the most unaptly named or inaptly
Rodney.
named gangster ever. He's also in Diamonds Are Forever. that
Yes,
guy.
he is.
They have a.
I choose to believe it's the same person.
It is.
Same character.
It may be. So I have a couple of little alternate theme songs that they considered for this movie. The first, of course, being the one they refused by Alice Cooper. Here's his version of the Man.
Right, which came out anyway.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. There we go.
Again, that'll give you a great idea of what year it is.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper's a much hipper choice than Lulu.
Right. And they couldn't see that.
No.
You know, they.
Too rockin'.
Yeah.
I love this already.
Yeah. We have the golden.
When they get into that little syncopated part,
Yeah, what's wrong with this thing?
It's way too hip.
it's a little plodding too.
Yeah, that bass line can use a little gussying up.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Well, it's not a very good song, is it?
No, but it's not Lulu in 1974.
Yeah, it's not a great
They
song.
could have orchestrated it and jazzed it up though.
Of course, if you're in the Phoenix area, we recommend you go to Alice Cooper's Town, Alice Cooper's Sports Bar.
The foot-long Randy Johnson big unit hot dog.
Oh, that place, unspeakable.
It's like, what if Fridays met Welcome to My Nightmare?
There's your bass, a little too late. Sorry.
Alice
just
Cooper
showed
had a
up.
superb band in the 70s. Dick Wagner and whatnot.
I wish they had a Ronnie James Dio version of this.
Ronnie James, yeah.
So then here's this oddity, and to this day I don't know how this is connected or what this is, but Peter Cowap took it upon himself to make a Man with a Golden Gun song.
Who's that?
I don't know.
This already works for me.
He had only seen the part where the guy comes through the double doors.
Yeah,
the western
the
part.
Western part.
Golden gun is gonna come and take the world by the hand. What? The man with the golden gun.
This just must be his own deal. Maybe it's not even related to the movie. I don't know.
With the golden gun.
He probably saw the movie.
Is this like Neil Diamond saw E.T. and decided he was going to make it?
Well, right, and the song Alfie's not in the movie Alfie.
Oh, really?
It's not in It's not even the theme song.
And Johnny
Came out
Cash
after.
did his Thunderball song as just a submission on his own that never
Right.
was commissioned.
And The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is not the theme song of The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Wow.
It happens.
Alfie's not in Alfie?
Modern Jazz Quartet has scored Alfie. Burt Bacharach loved the movie Alfie, and he decided to write a song, I guess.
Oh my God.
And Liberty Valance, too, which he also wrote.
It's a goodie.
All right.
The Liberty Valance is really good.
So there's some time where Burt Bacharach's just sitting there watching movies, writing songs about him.
Evidently.
Hey, that was pretty good. I'm going to go write that.
Having a little vermouth with Angie.
That was a weird thing because, yeah, Turn On Your Heart Light by Neil Diamond.
Yes, where he asked permission.
I saw Neil at the Forum in Los Angeles when after E.T. had come out, and he had written that Heartlight, and he passed out lyrics underneath the seats.
What?
There were lyrics to
So you
Heartlight.
could sing
so
along?
the whole audience saying,
I don't need those lyrics.
"Gonna take a ride across the moon."
you and me. Oh,
Is there something playing right now?
Yeah,
yes,
sorry,
he's still
I-
playing, very
still-
lowly playing.
Sorry.
Well, it's got that 70s folk rock nonsense going on. Acoustic dude.
It was almost kind of like a Donovan song or something.
Well, like
Yeah.
Jesse Colin Young or Kenny Rankin or any of the schlocktasms that.
So, the world's most deadly assassin,
Yeah.
Scaramanga, defined by his third nipple, apparently,
Right.
is the only thing
What was
notable
what
about
was the
him.
whole point of that? Did anyone?
so that Bond could later on disguise himself
Yeah.
with a fake nipple.
Yes, that's pretty much
There's
Wow.
no payoff.
pretty much.
No, I was going to say that, but there's no
That's
payoff.
pretty much it.
I want
Well,
to
no,
say
they-
that may be
that's
the only thing from the
from the
novel.
book.
I could be wrong about that, but this is probably the Fleming movie or novel that is least like the movie of any of them.
You mean there's not a car chase with General Motors
Nope.
cars in the Fleming novel and
Surprisingly
people getting
not.
all pointy heads and stuff?
The third nipple thing.
Actually, I'm sure Pointy Heads is in the book.
There is one
And
reference by one of the quote unquote pointy heads who says that the third nipple is a symbol of virility or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
But that's he doesn't really he never really does anything that virile. He kind of threatens to have sex with with Brit.
Now that I think about it, maybe it isn't in the book because I remember watching an interview with Tom Mankiewicz saying like, "Oh, wouldn't that be kinky if we do that sort of thing?" Yeah, it was just a plot device for them to get.
Was it not in the book, the third nipple? Are you sure?
Could be. I don't know.
Oh, I just want to this is so okay. So we see that the first scene we see is the cold open is Scaramanga on his island. He wants to have the deadliest game where he wants to hunt man. So Knick Knack,
Which is also lifted from the Cornell Wilde movie of
yes.
from the 50s.
Oh, I don't know that movie.
Yeah.
So
And a fine Gilligan's Island episode, too, by the way.
a fine Gilligan's Island episode.
Is that Vincent Price in that one?
Is it Vincent Price? I can't remember who's the bad guy.
I think it's
really,
Vincent. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, The Hunting a Human is always hilariously good.
I think Gilligan's Island was it McNamara? What was his name?
I don't know. I don't remember
Right.
that
And
episode.
it got a little dark. That's a dark Gilligan episode. Even Marianne can't save it with her buoyancy.
Oh, Marianne.
on a very special Gilligan's Island.
Scaramanga, Nick Nack apparently just sets up these games all the time for Scaramanga.
Yeah, because he gets to inherit Scaramanga's island if he's killed.
I'd like to know more about that arrangement. I think you went to the point.
Yeah.
It's like you know how bad guys are. If they die, they give their next in command.
Oh, well, I love that he's admitting that to Roger Moore at the end, going, "I hope you kill him because all this will be mine." And it's like, oh yeah, the state laws are such that a criminal, if he dies, still gets to hand over his
I mean,
he paid the estate taxes.
world-ending estate. Plus, you also find out that Scaramanga is just living there rent-free from
the government.
yeah, because he occasionally does a favor for
from
them.
High Fat or
kill
whatever.
somebody. But
Yeah.
also, I love that he shoots High Fat and then just tells High Fat's second in command that he's in charge now, and then that guy's like, yeah, sure, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems legit. You killed him.
You also have to remember the whole solar-powered theme of this. This was the year of gas lines.
Right. Yeah.
This was the year of odd and even gas lines and a huge oil crisis. And England was in the middle of a huge one when this was going on. And Gerald Ford was president, and there was like whip inflation now buttons and
my God.
so the whole subplot of the energy crisis
Yeah.
is a big through line in this. But they thankfully spared us having Arab bad guys.
Oh yeah,
Because that would have been the other way to
they
go.
do mention him. Remember, the sheikhs will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They move it to Asia so that they don't have that.
So this movie also
Fighting over solar power, by the way.
it's crazy. But this has the scene, I think, in all of the James Bond movies put together. This has the largest instance of know-it-all James Bond,
Oh, the worst.
which I'm gonna play for you right now.
Scaramanga. You mean
This is also your British offer.
Yes.
Chief of Staff.
What do you know about a man called Scaramanga, 007?
Well, let me tell you.
Scaramanga.
got a minute?
Let me think.
I've memorized
Yes.
this part.
The man with the golden gun.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Born in the circus, father the ringmaster, possibly Cuban, mother
What?
English, a snake charmer. He
I'll
was a
say.
spectacular trick shot artist by
That's
the
from
time
the
he was
novel.
10 and a local Rio gunman at 15. The KGB recruited him there and trained him in Europe.
Is there
where
more?
He became an overworked, underpaid assassin.
And we
He
know
went
anything about him?
independent in the late 50s.
Oh, okay.
Current price, $1 million a hit. No photograph on file, but he does have one distinguishing feature, however. A superfluous papilla.
What?
A mammary gland. A third nipple, son. He always uses a golden bullet.
You believe this shit? That's what he said.
Present domicile unknown.
He was also in a lot of Hammer
That's
movies.
all. Why, sir?
Boom! There it is.
Why do you ask?
Snap. Snap.
Mr. Bond, what do you know about exposition? Well,
Let me think.
Why, sir?
Hilarious.
That's fantastic.
That is the. I think that I will go on record as saying that's the
It is.
largest instance of that happening.
and it's and they stand there deaf as posts through the whole thing.
They keep giving each other they're almost camera takes.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ.
there's the one in Moonraker where he has to identify the poison flower in M's office. That's ridiculous too, and he
Yeah,
knows the
yeah.
Latin name and what its characteristics.
Well,
are.
the other instance of this is when he's explaining how the power plant works to Scaramanga.
God, he knows everything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Let me show you.
Mr. Bond. The summer shirts. Oh my God, the plaid jacket. He's like Johnny Carson going golfing in this. This is an
Great
empty
set.
room
It's a
full of
great
stuff.
set.
Yeah.
though.
This should
That is
run
a-
a few electric toothbrushes.
No, hilarity. 74 was a great year for humor.
and toothbrushes.
A solar energy station. So this is what it's all about. Thermoelectric generators to
And white
convert
shoes.
solar energy into electricity.
Thermoelectric generators.
All built by High-Fat's construction company, no doubt.
Somehow I seem to have inherited it from him. It's all fully automated. That's Kra, maintenance and security. He looks after
That's the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Why does he only have 3
They
letters
tell
in
me
his
the
name?
electricity is stored in here, somewhere.
And there we go.
Science was never my strong point.
Superconductivity coils cooled by liquid helium.
Christ.
If I were you, I wouldn't stick my finger or anything else for that matter in there. At 453 degrees below zero, that liquid helium would break it off like an icicle.
You really know far more about it than I do, Mr. Bond.
That was the first time where it's like I know they're supposed to be rivals, but in the book, Bond works as Scaramanga's like assistant.
Really?
His apprentice. He's undercover, and the whole because Fleming only did a first version of this and then he died, so he never got to revise this novel, but they put it out anyway, and everybody was asking him before he died, basically, like, why does Scaramanga keep this guy around? What's the reason? And so he makes Scaramanga sexually attracted to Bond, and I wish they kind of done that in the book.
Interesting.
Oh, I wish they'd done that too.
Yeah.
Chris Lee is so tall.
He's
Yes.
huge.
He's like good looking in this.
6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And the year before is what? Wicker Man,
Yep.
and then Three Musketeers. He's on fire in this part. Of
And
the
he's
70s,
Fleming's
man.
cousin.
Yeah.
Ian Fleming's cousin. Yeah.
Fleming wanted him to play Dr. No.
Nepotism,
that's
guys.
right. I know.
Nepotism.
Serious nepotism.
Instead of the fantastically Jewish Chinese Dr. No of Joseph Weissman.
Joseph Weissman.
I know.
With Joseph Weissman as an Oriental.
Oh, we read this as wise man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We have to.
Not since
From the
Eli
Orient.
Wallach.
We have to go.
Joseph Pointy Head Wiseman.
It's in that grand tradition of Jews playing every nationality, like Alan Arkin and Eli Wallach.
Joel Silver and Remo Williams.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
remember that?
Joel Silver.
Mickey Rooney and Breakfast at
Oh,
Tiffany's.
Yeah,
God.
fantastic.
It is fucking hot. in
Not
here.
Joel
I just need to
Silver.
say
It's
that.
really
Is it Joel
hot in here.
Silver?
Ridiculous.
Joel.
We're on somewhere.
Not Joel Silver. Is
Joel Silver, the producer of The Matrix.
No, Joel. Who's the
Joel
guy?
Gray.
Joel Gray.
Joel
yes.
Gray, that's
Yeah.
right.
In Reno.
Remo Williams,
yeah.
Was that the Fred Ward one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Joel Gray does a pretty good job on that one.
I love Joel Gray.
Yeah. It's just I'd like to go watch that again.
Yeah.
Right now. See it.
That's not so long ago. It's so good.
Wow. So James Bond knows a lot
He
about
knows-
superconductivity.
knows
and-
everything.
Now,
there
so
is
he
to
goes
know.
into the fun house to hone his chops.
Yeah,
And-
that's where he stays sharp.
But we don't know that yet because we just think that like somehow Knick Knack is trying to kill this guy because he's lurking and he's got this console full of buttons and
Yes,
things.
he sure does.
And it's almost as at the direction where Hervé, can you just mash crudely at the controls? 'Cause
Yeah,
he's completely just ham-handing everything.
Maybe
He is-
we can open this door since the store's
Yeah, might as
closed.
well open that
Yeah.
door.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Will that let more hot air in?
No, I think it should be.
It is
Go
steaming.
ahead, just
This is a
kill it,
convection
Aristotle.
oven today.
Yeah.
I'm smoking a ham in here.
Oh, it is warm as fuck.
So because his family used to work in a circus, it's kind of circusy themed, and it's kind of like a carnival.
Right, mixed with Lady from Shanghai.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now what's happening here is MI6 has somehow gotten a golden bullet with 007 written on it, somehow mailed to them.
Yeah.
I don't know how you mail something to MI6, a
Yeah.
secret place. But it happened. So now James assumes...
Well, because he's the most well-known secret agent of all
I
time.
know. In this movie, more than anyone, he's James Bond. Oh, I know him. He was on the
Right.
cover of Spy
Yeah.
magazine.
Spy magazine. The perfect wax figure likeness of him that is there.
That's been ripped from Madame Tussauds from the year before.
And shakes a little bit
Yeah, it does. Well, listen.
and is heavily made up.
Roger can't stand still for anybody. So now James thinks he's off his case. He's got to go find the man with the golden gun before he finds him. A lot of pronouns there, but you follow.
Yeah.
So he has to go to Bangkok.
To meet Lazar, the manufacturer of the bullet. right?
Yes.
Well, I love this actor. I wish he was a Bond.
Lazar is
himself.
great.
He
Yeah.
goes to Macau to get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he goes to... He has to find the bullet first,
Yeah.
which is...
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Great line. Great line. When he's pointing at his crotch, speak now or forever hold your peace.
So the big gaff in this movie is the mirror,
Oh,
Yes.
which
dear.
Yeah.
totally
I pointed that
gets
out to
hit,
Jeff.
and you just see everybody
about
on the
this,
crew.
There's
Yeah,
a fight
let's see.
happening in the
Belly rooms.
the belly dancers
the belly
room,
dancers
and
room.
they come across the fight. They go by a mirror, and the entire the craft service guys in the shot. I mean, everybody.
This is an infamous
The gaffer,
gaff.
the best boy.
If you haven't watched the movie yet and don't know about this, look for it when they're fighting in the belly dancers break room.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it up just so you guys can see it, but keep talking.
What were they also thinking? Like, was that the best take they had? They could have cut before the mirror moves.
Well,
think
it
they
was
were
just-
under the
Saltzman
impression-
and Broccoli were not getting along, I don't think. They broke up right
this
after.
This is Saltzman's last movie. There's a funny story about Saltzman on this. So they get to Bangkok right when this movie's about to be made, and Saltzman's on his own. This is on the documentary, and he's looking at these elephants, and he goes, "Oh yes, let's have an elephant stampede in this film." Just thinking, let's just do it. So apparently, to have elephants move quickly Berkeley and any kind of urban landscape or whatever, they have to have these special elephant shoes. So he orders 200 expensive elephant shoes.
God.
Forgets about this set piece. He never speaks to anybody about it. It never manifests itself in the screenplay. And then, like halfway or 3/4 of the way through shooting, 200 elephant shoes arrive on set. And basically, Cubbly Broccoli's like, "Well, what are you doing? What's happening?"
200 elephant
Yeah.
shoes.
And there's no elephant stampede or anything anymore in the script.
You know, if you just mouth the words elephant shoes, it looks just like I love you.
And elephant shoes. Also, if you
Elephant
want to
shoes,
speak
too.
if you want to be a posh English person, the word ears and eyes are also the word yes.
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 Yes. And yeah.
Yes.
Understand yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There's the guy.
Yeah, so there's the guy.
Oh my God.
camera assistants.
There's a light kit right there. That guy's over there. They're just like, yeah, let's keep going.
And fuck it.
No
And
problem.
fuck it. I love that. Rolling and fuck it.
Fuck it. Camera speed and fuck it.
I love guys who make guns in movies. If you remember the Day of the Jackal, the guy he goes to have him make that's fantastic. Anyone who's the craftsperson who makes the gun is always a great character.
Or like this when Sonny Chiba is it and Kill Bill making the
Yeah.
swords. Like I love the guy that makes this.
Mickey Rourke's the bomb guy in Body Heat or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah,
always
yeah.
the guy who's the expert on some weird shit.
Later on, when they're at the Lucite dining room table, and he
from Levitz.
You love it at Levitt's.
wow, Scaramanga puts that gun together in no time flat.
Oh, yeah.
like it's on the table. He's using his
That's
pen.
right.
It's a pen. It's a lighter.
Yeah.
It's
And a cufflinks.
And cufflinks.
Yeah.
You can buy a pretty good replica of
I
that.
still ask
for
myself why I haven't
$1,800.
yet.
I was going to say,
Big one
surely
thing.
you would have had that
I
one.
know, I
'Cause
should.
that was a famous gun.
Yeah.
I like in the GoldenEye video game when you got the golden gun.
Yeah, one shot killed you.
It was done.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a great video game.
Yeah.
That is the best game. We've talked about it many times. So he tracks down the bullet, which is in the belly button of a dancer,
Naturally.
because it killed a 00 agent
Yeah.
previously, and she thought it would be a good luck to stick it in her belly button.
It is my charm.
I've lost my charm. Not from where I'm standing.
Did Hervé Villechaize do her
Smurf.
ADR?
Yes, he did. So James swallows the bullet because he gets hit, and then
And you see the shape of that bullet. He,
Yeah.
he has to pass that thing shaped like.
now here's what I think. Do you think that you think he shit it out, or do you think he went and got some whatever that
Well,
is that
he
makes
goes.
you
He
vomit?
says, "I have to go to the pharmacy."
Yeah.
I'm. That's a laxative joke.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because you have no idea what this went through, what I went through to get this, or what it's gone through. To me. He's talking about. I went to go. Take me to the pharmacy. He's going to go buy some.
Right.
Some
This is
Sex Flash.
screen-written by Tom Mankiewicz for the most part.
And Mae
Same-
Baum, yeah.
Yeah, and so same with Diamonds Are Forever, where they hide the diamonds in the alimentary canal of that one guy. So a lot of bowel movement jokes.
Yeah, but let's.
When weren't those funny?
Yeah.
So they go to. He finds out.
Am I right or am I right?
1974.
A lot of things weren't funny in 74.
That is the other thing about these movies is we're in the golden age of one of the golden ages of cinema, and you've got these weird campy movies that don't stack up against these other gritty films. It really has lost its way.
Godfather 2,
Yeah.
The Conversation, The
Yeah.
Passenger by
Yeah,
Antonioni. These are the movies that are coming out then. A Taxi Driver.
And
this
Man
is
with
the
the
era.
Golden Gun.
And Man with the Golden Gun with, boy, what you do? I'm from Chef J.W. Pepper. Like fucking in the middle of maybe the greatest era of cinema since right after the war.
Network. No.
Network.
What is the
Network's
line
that
in
year.
Live and Let Die
Network's
where
the
he goes,
same year.
When's Bonnie and Clyde?
Oh, I don't.
69.
I
yeah.
blocked it.
But the mid 70s, we're talking about Sleeper, Love and Death is this year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these superb movies from this era. Man Who Would Be Kings from 75.
When's Wild Bunch, too? When is that?
Wild Bunch
Later
is 71.
70s?
It's right before.
Meanwhile, James Bond needs to go to a pharmacy.
Hotel, mister? No. The nearest pharmacy.
So I can take a giant one.
I need to shit out a mushroomed bullet.
But this leads to my favorite, the most British man in the movie.
Wounding effect. Very nasty.
Oh, Colthorpe.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Even his
Just tell
mustache.
me where it was made.
I love how
by whom.
annoyed James Bond is by
All
that.
in one piece.
This guy has a Boothroyd mustache.
20.03 grams, which leads us to deduce it was fired from a 4.2 millimeter
Bond's
gun.
bored.
Cardinal, there's no such thing as a 4.2 millimeter gun.
The fact that no record
Look at the background.
Yeah.
The experiment in the back.
military or civil produces such a bullet doesn't mean it doesn't exist, 007. Q Branch have been making irregular calibers for most unusual purposes.
He's so annoyed by
Put
them.
markings or serial numbers on them.
He put on a very special
Identification almost
double-breasted
impossible.
jacket for this scene
Why do they take
say
time to
there's no
show
way to
that
trace that
background?
because they're going to blow something
Yeah,
up.
they blow it up.
Through to get here.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. The workmanship is undemanding according to our standards. Soft 23-carat gold with traces of
Fecal matter.
nickel. Hardly ever used in Europe. Comes from India.
What, nickel?
Far East.
Ooh, Far East.
We're
Take a look.
lucky he didn't say
Nickel
Inja.
content obviously too low, 007.
Lazar?
Why does Bond selectively not know this shit?
Right?
He didn't have a microscope at home.
Imaginative. Highly specialized. Yes, I concur.
Of course, we blow up a wall.
Okay.
Not what? Who? Portuguese. Lives in Macau.
Portuguese.
Who made the bullet, 007? The chap who made the bullet.
I love how they're so patronizing. Do pay attention.
How British am I?
I said Bond.
So they go to Macau, which have anybody been to Macau at this
No,
table?
but Bond has.
Very
in
exciting.
Skyfall.
Very
wanna
exotic.
Well, Jeff and I had a long conversation about whatever kind of dumbwaiter basket gambling.
Okay.
we're doing
I was
here.
going to say, you have
What
to
is
gamble
that?
in a basket if you go to Macau.
There's people on the ground playing some sort of weird domino pachinko.
Right.
Right.
So are the people above betting on
Yes,
who's
they
going to
are.
win down below?
And there's monkeys.
And so there's baskets, but you could also get a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
Some gum.
Who's? I want to know more about high-low basket game.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that?
Well, it's like
Is that Cambodian sip water?
That's high-fat gal.
that guy.
I don't know.
It's fantastic.
Someone will tell us.
I need to go to Macau. If I ever do, for any reason, end up in Macau on my travels, on my itinerant wanderings, I want to walk into a building and I want a fucking basket game.
Yeah, you
happening.
do.
Yeah.
I want a monkey, and I want some opium, and
And I want a cigarette box full of bullets.
yeah.
There are two Macau casinos in Bond movies, and the difference between them is stark. That
By the
What's the
way,
other one then with Le
it's-
Chiffre?
No, it's Skyfall when
Oh,
he goes.
jeez, yeah.
yeah.
of course.
Well, here's something
that's
I noticed
beautiful
watching
casino.
this movie. I feel like James Bond has run out of places to go
Yeah.
because there's a lot of imagery in this that comes up later, and I don't know if it's callbacks or if they're just like, "Fuck, we've been everywhere."
I think
We've
so
done
too. Because
23
this is
movies.
also when they start making the movies by location scouting. That's
Right.
their first
Right.
concern
Yeah.
is where
Well,
do we
those,
go.
you were saying those islands that Scaramanga lives on were not really known at the time.
No, this
Right.
movie put them on the
Oh,
map.
and they're so stunning. That's one of the
Yeah.
best parts of the movie. The scenery at the end is
Yeah.
fantastic.
When they're, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
No,
when,
go ahead.
when they're flying that awesome plane,
Yeah.
that float
Yeah.
plane, and that beautiful flying through those through the atolls out there.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that is it John Barry who
Yeah.
does the music?
Uh-huh.
For a moment, absolutely steals Rogers and Hammerstein South Pacific in there. There's a Bally,
it's
there's
probably likely.
There's a Bally High moment.
I mean, God, he steals Live and Let Die for their own score when you
Yeah.
see just J.W. Pepper. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But you said they're called the James Bond Islands.
That's
now?
the informal name. Yeah, even when you go there, go to the James Bond Islands.
Which islands?
The islands.
Bond.
Bond, James Bond Islands.
Islands.
Islands. James Bond Islands.
Elephant shoes.
Yo, you're
I
just
love
saying
you
that.
too.
Elephant shoe too.
Also, olive juice.
I love juice.
So James tracks down Lazar, discovers that he's dropping off the bullets in at Macau at the casino. They go play the weird basket game. We can't figure out what it is, and then he needs to track Maude Adams.
We all need to track Maude Adams.
Oh, my God.
5'9", you guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get
Easy, Greg.
we got
She's the
Grr.
Octopussy. That's Octopussy.
Yeah, and
She
she's
still lives in L.A. and she still looks fantastic.
I saw her recently with Britt Eklund. I took a
Yeah.
photo with them, and
Wait,
Britt
what?
Eklund was a huge
Burying the
bully.
lead.
Yeah,
Burying the lead here.
I went to some music of Bond event a couple of years ago. It was before I knew you. I would have
thanks,
taken you
buddy.
with me.
Thanks.
But I took a picture with them, and Britt Eklund was just, no, give it to me. Give me the camera. Okay, look, you have to point it down. You can't. No, it has to be this way. It has to be this way. And Maude Adams couldn't have been more elegant
Right.
and genial. She was so.
Did she throw you one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We went in a supply closet, twisted around each other a little bit like a couple of red vines. And her words.
Her words.
wow.
This is the introduction
If
of.
you want to see all of Maude Adams, there's a really creepy movie from the 70s called Tattoo with Bruce Stern.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Good to know.
You get to
Good
see
know.
The Morning Dew. You get to see everything. Coconuts, the whole
Bull
enchilada.
Rush Delta.
Yeah. It is
Her words.
She is.
Her words.
She's superb.
So James tracks
And in a
them.
bunch of James Bond movies, probably more
Yeah.
than any other person.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a little cameo in View to a Kill. Or cameo, she's just an extra, really. It's like a feat. They just put her in as she was on set visiting. I think I have a theory that Cubby Broccoli was maybe he had a little thing for her because he kept bringing her back.
Him and a good deal of the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. I also just found out something. Forgive me, I don't remember who sent this to me on Twitter, but I'll try to find it. He directed me to a link for the guy that produced the Three Stooges. I can't remember his name. Do you know by name?
Ted Healy?
Yes. Was killed in a fight.
Was he?
And they never. Well, he died, but he was in a fight hours before.
Are you sure
that.
someone just didn't pull his hair and it hurt really bad?
Did someone take pliers to his nose?
Yeah.
So there was this whole deal where
spread out.
he got in a fight, and they didn't know if the fight had something to do with that. And later, Cubby Broccoli admitted to being one of the people that was
killed
in the
Ted
fight,
Healy?
was in the
Because
fight
he was
with her.
British, yeah.
Yeah, but the coroner did not rule the fight as the cause of death, but it happened hours before.
Wow.
And Cubby Broccoli was one of the people that.
Maybe
was
he got his head ironed.
All right.
You know what it was? He asked for some coffee and Curly put too much sugar in it.
It's alum.
Alum, that was always the joke. God.
I just want to hear James Bond refer to a car as an inverted
Also-
bedpan, which we'll hear right now.
Maud Adams is also awesomely in the movie Rollerball, which is another movie that came out exactly at the same
didn't know
time
she's
as
in
this.
that?
Yep. And Christopher Lee couldn't do Tommy because he did this movie and he was on location.
Who was he going to be in Tommy?
He was going to be the doctor
uncle?
that Jack Nicholson plays in the movie.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I think he made the right choice.
Rollerball. There's another one. Wow.
I've never seen
The
that.
Rollerball, the best first 15 minutes of any movie ever, and then there's a bunch of rich people blowing up
Yeah,
trees. and it's stupid.
the middle of it's tedious, but the games are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The games are really awesome because
we
they
just-
really are playing with roller derby guys, and they play the game, and it's pretty fun.
Watch the first 20 minutes of Rollerball, and it's heaven on earth. And then
From Houston, the Energy City.
After we're done
Jonathan
with
E.
James Bond movies, let's just do the early 70s.
We'll do roller bonding.
We'll just do the early 70s.
If we did nothing but early 70s movies, I'll be here every week. It's my wheelhouse.
Noted.
We haven't mentioned how awesome the Queen Elizabeth liner is that they use the MI6
Oh, yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That is.
and build those.
We haven't
those
gotten there
yet.
That's
we
really
haven't.
No.
clever.
Yeah, it was.
God,
we went
got
by
some
it on the
ground to
boat.
cover.
Yeah, we got
Sorry.
some ground to cover.
Okay.
But I just want to hear him say inverted bedpan.
Madam, would you be good enough to move this inverted bedpan?
I'm sorry I'm late, James.
Jesus.
But your signal from Macau only just reached the office.
You're a great help, good night. Now, get onto the License Bureau and trace that car. AU603, a green rose.
A green rose?
MG.
A green Rolls Royce. There can't be that many in Hong Kong.
What? Why did she laugh?
I don't know.
Because she knows that they all belong here.
Courtesy cars. All green Rolls Royces belong to the Peninsula Hotel. You see what a 2-year posting to staff intelligence does for a girl? James.
It makes her hair manageable.
Wonderful to see you.
She's having a
Where are you
L'Oreal
going?
moment.
I need some information.
Got to shit a bullet.
Look at the lining of his coat.
Oh, it's
yeah, it's gorgeous.
fantastic.
It's gorgeous.
Oh my God, it's like a batik.
For the 70s, not bad suits. The 70s have some pretty shady.
I love
Yeah, the plaid
suits.
suit later is bad, but some of the double-breasted things are fabulous.
Yeah, they managed mostly to keep.
He's
Roger
also really
Moore-
thin there still.
Yeah,
He hasn't gained the weight that he
And-
later in the Moonraker
Yeah.
and shit. He's
Yeah.
a little hot
When
for
they
that.
go to the Queen Elizabeth liner and Hip, his counterpart there, has a double-breasted suit with lapels that are basically extending
shoulder.
past
Oh,
his
yeah,
shoulders.
yeah, flying away.
They're crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the 40s. The 70s are like the 40s with the giant lapels.
Fat ties.
And fat ties and plaid.
Fat ties in this movie.
So James has tracked the golden bullets to Maud Adams. Maud Adams takes them. He tracks her down to her hotel room, and then he beats information out of her.
I like that part.
I do too. I
He
like.
certainly slaps her around.
Yeah,
You know what? Sometimes
I think you had to do
am
it.
I all right? And I don't want to offend anyone in your audience. When they're asking for it, there's a look in their eye.
When they won't come clean with the info.
Dude, I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do for the government of the Queen.
I think it tracks with the character of James Bond to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's cruel.
It doesn't.
He's
It doesn't track
It doesn't-
with Roger
it-
Moore.
No, that's the difference,
Yeah.
right? If Sean Connery, you always believed in the sadism,
Yeah.
and I think that's the key to James Bond's Bond is that he's sadistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I
It
don't
certainly
like
is
about
in the books.
the big problem for me at this movie, by this point in the movie, you realize there's not going to be any money spent on any of the locations. It's all really chintzy looking. Like when you go through that little the House of Horrors at Scaramanga's place, you see duct tape. You see wiring stick out.
Yeah.
It's really shitty.
They spend money on the locations. They don't spend much money, seemingly, on
decorating them.
production design. Yeah. Except when you get that control room.
I think
at
the
the
control
end,
room's really cool
the control room
looking.
is great.
This is also production designed by a one-off guy. I can't remember his name. So it's not Ken Adam, who's amazing, and it's not Peter Lamont.
And this is what's his name's last picture, right? In the chain, Guy Hamilton.
Guy
or whatever.
Hamilton, yeah.
It's the last one. He helms, as it were.
yeah.
Then we're on to Terry Young or whatever after that.
No, it's Lewis Gilbert for
Lewis
another
Gilbert,
two.
yeah.
And then John Glenn, right?
The amazing John Glenn.
Yeah,
For your eyes only.
Look, he figures I got Maude Adams and Britt Eklund running around in this movie. No one's going to be looking at the duct tape,
Right.
There's not a lot
except
to
for
do.
a young Jeff Davis.
So they go to the Bottoms Up Club.
where the women tape their hair to their breasts.
I love it.
And
Are we going to get to see the beating at all?
which beating? Oh, sure, yeah.
Which beating?
I'm sorry, the beating. There's a lot of beatings in this movie.
Here we go. God,
Well, we're supposed to believe Roger Moore can physically take Maude Adams.
yeah, he can take his own wife.
Records carry a government warning.
Give me that.
I'm not attracted to Maude Adams.
Oh, really?
Give me that.
Certainly can damage your health.
You know why, Jeff? She's more than you can handle.
Smash.
Ah,
Oh, you're hurting my arm.
I'll break it unless you tell me where those bullets go.
Oh, I can't.
and a gun.
Try.
Don't kill me.
Who?
Scaramanga.
I can't tell you.
You're not attracted to Maude Adams?
No, I don't like the mannish jawline thing.
That's all
I'm
like.
kind of on board
See
with
what you can
Jeff.
do when you try.
I'll take my Britt Eklund any day over my Adams.
Oh, Britt Eklund. She's so dumb in this.
She really
Yeah.
is.
I don't work for him. Yes, I'm his.
Oh, so he's a lover too.
Roger Moore's hair is fucking awesome in this.
Bullfighters do the same thing.
I got
Claims
it bad
improves
for
the
Maude
eye.
Adams. Look at that. I mean, come on.
His eye is on me. Where can I find him?
There's a line. Yeah, you do.
Oh, someone's
don't
gonna get
know.
hit again.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Where?
I don't know where. He doesn't tell me everything. I know he has a date at the Bottoms Up Club tonight.
You're saying you don't
How
love
will I
Maude Adams?
recognize him?
She can take a punch like that?
That incredulous Greg Proops. You don't love her? Look at the way she's being beaten.
Maybe I'm revealing a little more than I want to about myself.
She's very your type, though. She's got a bit of Jennifer in her, too.
I was going to say, giant brunettes are really in my wheelhouse.
Me too.
So he tracks.
I'm looking at you, Jeff Davis.
Elephant shoes.
You're a little too giant.
That is what she said.
So he's tracked to the Bottoms Up Club, where James is assuming that he's going to find Scaramanga, but what he doesn't realize is that Scaramanga's there, but with a contract on someone else entirely. Oh my goodness!
Mystery.
Tricky Dickums.
So what ensues
Trickums.
is James getting arrested by a guy who we're like, oh my god, what's happening
Move away
here?
from that.
He's so creepy.
He
If
really
you
is.
take the trouble to examine that gun, you'll notice it hasn't been fired.
Anything you have to say, you can say at the station.
Pulling up in a Land Rover.
Why would
Defender
Bond go
110.
quietly? He never goes quietly in any other
No,
movies. It's
no.
pure plot convenience.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
you know.
Also, he could have told him right there, "Hey, come with me. We're on the same
Oh, but
team."
he says why he doesn't. I can't
because he goes,
remember what.
Asian police have no authority in Asia, okay?
there's some bad cover about how they.
with current
I didn't know how much you knew or whatever.
Yeah. So
Real estate prices in Hong Kong.
He thinks he's in from Russia with love.
here we are in the awesome boat.
Such a great,
We managed to solve it.
great set.
I thought that salvage fighter plane was going to come back somehow.
No, just some set pieces.
Good evening, 007.
This could be like
Glad to
a
see you still with
surrealist
us.
Fellini film.
Yeah,
you know, if
the
they
way they've
didn't
tilted
explain
everything.
It, yeah.
He often has an Asian
future, Commander Bond,
goat
would you
liaison.
monitor the
and
exclusive on by-
Tiger Tanaka. and the,
I've been for my man here, Lieutenant Hip.
Sorry, Commander. I had to get you away from the Hong Kong police, but didn't know how much you knew.
There you are.
Nothing. But
Notice
I
he's
think
commander,
I should
'cause he's in the
report
Royal
that
Navy.
Scaramanga does not have a contract on me. He couldn't have missed me tonight. Instead, he hit some chap coming out of a club.
Some chap.
I got quite a shock when I saw who it was.
I should think you did.
I should think you did.
Our missing solar energy expert, Gibson.
Yes, Gibson.
Why is Q here?
Back under certain conditions.
What is Q doing in this scene?
You never know when you need some more shit.
You never know when you need a scolding.
Contact.
If I remember correctly, this is where he writes down third nipple and hands it to Q.
Yeah.
For the...
Is that why he's there, so we can get the third nipple?
Yeah.
That is dumb.
Yep. It's super dumb.
D-U-M.
Let's just go ahead and skip into... we're just about to meet J.W. Pepper.
Oh, boy.
Are we skipping through High Fat?
I was going to say...
Oh, you want to hear some High Fat?
No,
Sure.
I'm saying, did we... Have we got to the... We haven't got to the fights on the on Grizzly Land yet.
No.
Grizzly Land.
With the sumo wrestlers and the little Hervé.
Little
As
Hervé.
opposed to the other kind.
I'd also like to point out that in the early movies, he's driving an Aston Martin,
Yep.
and now we're driving General Motors automobiles that are basically on for sale during this movie.
That's like when Brosnan had to drive those BMWs.
Please head to the lobby to meet your GM salesperson. Will be out there to take your name.
I
and
hope
number.
I can buy a Matador after this movie.
Just like James Bond.
Let's go out to the lobby and buy ourselves a car.
Which car that Christopher Lee flies? That's an AMC car, too. isn't it?
That's a Pacer, right?
Yeah.
A
I don't know if
Pacer.
it is, but it is an AMC.
Yeah.
And he puts Britt Eklund in the trunk and whatnot.
Yeah.
As we all would like to, I believe.
Brand new with the misogyny in this episode.
It's not just misogyny, it's good times. You have to remember, this is a long time ago.
Hard to separate.
Things were different then, and it was cool.
In due time, I shall be laid to rest here in my mausoleum after a useful, happy, long life. And I do not intend to allow Mr. Bond to shorten it.
How about that summer suit with the slash pockets?
Yeah, a cream suit is hard to pull.
Oh, yeah.
So what you just heard was High Fat.
Yeah.
Who is a wealthy businessman who wants to get solar energy, right? That's the plot here.
Is the dancer who's Chew Me? Have we met
She's
her?
the swimming lady.
Chew Me
Oh,
is
right,
the,
yeah,
Chew Me.
Come on.
Jesus Christ.
Get me out of here.
It got worse. There was Miss Goodhead a couple of movies
Yeah,
later.
Holly Goodhead.
Yeah.
Holly Goodhead.
It got worse.
What we put together for the first time on this podcast, we didn't even consider this as a double entendre. In the first movie, his girlfriend's name is Sylvia Trench.
Yeah.
It's so straightforward, you don't even consider it as a double entendre.
Trench.
Diamonds Are Forever, someone's got a name, too.
Plenty O'Toole.
Yeah, Plenty O'Toole.
Oh,
Plenty.
That's like Dick Tracy.
Plenty.
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Or a Garbage Pail Kid.
So, all right, J.W. Pepper.
J.W. Pepper's
Jesus.
coming up here.
This guy I want to punch.
This is the best
Give me
part.
that time traveling phone and let me go.
Do you realize he did a set of car commercials too? Like he was a star off the back of this.
He's
really
in
was.
Untouchables.
Yeah.
He's the judge in Untouchables.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a soft spot for this guy. I really do, and even the character a little bit.
And carrying the handkerchief around, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I believe we're supposed to understand he's on holiday in the Far East with his lovely wife.
Yeah, his Democrat wife.
I knew it! You porty heads has no more idea of traffic control than a goony bird!
Zing.
Has no more idea about a traffic control than a goonie
See, but
bird.
you have to understand, we're making fun of the ugly American abroad, just like with the Maud Adams scene.
Man, I believe what we skipped over.
Yes.
Maybe not when he gets in that little sampan, that little boat with the crazy motors with the Vitamix blender blade on the end of it.
The Krupp snake.
And he's holding them at bay. Have we skipped the when he's fled the dojo after kicking ass?
We did, yeah. But
in that powder blue gi.
And so there's four guys on the riverbank, and he takes the outboard motor, which is 20 feet long, and with a spinning blender on the end of it, and he calls it, I believe it's what they call it.
The two schoolgirls are awesome. Come on, is that good fun or what?
That's very Tarantino.
And super hot.
Yeah.
With a melon.
I forgot to tell you, their father runs the dojo.
Oh, this guy's acting. Yeah, this guy's acting. Watch this.
Right in the Gnobles.
He's the.
I don't know if Roger Moore's acting is any better in this scene.
Hong Kong Jim Carrey. Here we go.
Oh dear. My hero. Should we chase him now or wait till they get to the bridge?
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
Super ego. I love this score so much.
Okay, he has the line when he gets in the boat. This is one of his worst.
This is the exact cue that we used for the theme song of Super
That's
Ego.
fantastic.
His politeness to close the door for the ladies.
That's pretty funny.
Makes the Lieutenant High think that Lieutenant Hip think that he's in the car.
The whole reason he goes on this next chase is because he's forgotten in a car.
Ugh, really contrived.
So, okay.
Here we go.
This is also coming up. Oh, yeah, here's the Vitamix.
Here's the line.
What you might call a Mexican screw-off, gentlemen.
What?
A Mexican screw-off.
Oh, you guys aren't familiar with the Mexican screw-off?
It's what you might call a Mexican screw-off.
Is he playing
but
off
it's not what you would call a Mexican
standoff?
I wouldn't call anything
Mexican
a Mexican
standoff, but it's a screw because it's that's the screw on the boat.
That one, was written on set. They're like, try this one. Try this one. It'll be killer.
I'd really rather not.
Perfect. Moving on.
And fuck it. Let's go. Next setup. So then he goes on to the little boy comes with the elephant. So between him getting the boy to help him and then shoving him off the boat, beating Maude Adams, I think this movie is James Bond at his worst.
Yeah,
maybe.
he's pretty nasty in this one.
He was said in one of the interviews, like, he's not very proud of that moment as the ambassador for UNICEF.
Mm-hmm.
He shoves
Not
the little
one
boy.
of my proud.
And especially since Audrey Hepburn gave him the post, right?
Yeah.
There's something I want you to do for me, Roger.
Let me see. I'm trying to
Take
figure
over this
out.
position for me.
Well, I'd be happy to, Audrey.
Now, of course, James's robe is made of blue terry cloth.
And
evidently there was a warehouse of blue terry.
And when he kicks the guy in the face, kind of unceremoniously and ungentlemanly, he's wearing powder blue as well.
Follow
Yeah.
the terry cloth. Follow. Listen to Matt's inner monologue. Must wear blue terry cloth.
God, I love it. What is the scene, too, where Britt Eklund is putting up a protest and then she suddenly goes, I'm weak.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, that's in the bedroom, right?
He tries to get her in bed, and she's like, no. She leaves him at
that's
dinner.
right. Oh, yeah.
And then you came around a little faster than I thought. She goes, yeah, I guess my hard to get act didn't really hold up. What changed your mind? I'm weak.
Yeah, nothing.
Wow.
We're in this movie. That's what changed my mind. I believe she says it's not her scene in one point,
Yes.
which then you know it's the 70s.
yeah.
It's not your bag and it's not your scene. You get off your trip.
Kidding.
This next exchange we're about to see is my favorite exchange between Scaramanga.
Her hair
and
is
Bond.
lustrous.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So,
Jesus, she's a dope in this. She's one of the worst actors. In a Bond movie, she's bad.
oh, yeah. She's right up there with Halle Berry.
Oh, Halle Berry. You still don't like Maude Adams? Post-mortem?
You were the creepy.
Just trying to be funny and entertaining. We've had dead Hervé Villachez on the show. How creepier can it get?
We called him, though, in the past. He was alive.
Maude Adams is still alive as far as I'm concerned.
And
I'm going to steal that anyway.
Left it in your handbag. It must be in here somewhere, dear. I saw the man in the shop give it to you.
This is a great little
Without the
exchange.
ticket, we can't get a receipt for customs.
You won't find it in there, Mr. Bond. I looked before you came. I wouldn't do that either. Look behind you.
Gun.
Lower.
Not altogether threatening.
A gun and a bag of peanuts. How original. What will they think of next?
Look how deadpan Hervé is. He underplays it.
He's watching the
My
fight.
name is Scaramanga.
And I'm better looking than you.
I feel I know you, although I never thought we should ever really meet. It's a very great pleasure for me, Mr. Bond.
so
and thanks
good.
to Miss Anders.
He's fabulous.
You have a strange way of showing your gratitude.
A mistress cannot serve two masters.
I hear
A
that,
difficult
boys.
shot, but most gratifying.
Well, we all get our jollies one way or another.
Because it's the 70s,
Mine
we get
have always
jollies.
been guns, Mr. Bond.
Did you get your rocks
When
off?
I was a
Yeah,
boy, I was brought up in a circus. My only real friend was a magnificent African bull elephant.
Okay.
Never forget that elephant.
One day, his handler mistreated him and he went berserk. Bleeding,
Let me you guys tasseled loafers.
he came and found me. Stood on one leg, his best trick. Picked me up and put me on his back.
What's doing?
like to buy some
Man emptied
peanuts.
the gun to his eye. I emptied my stage pistol into his.
An eye for an eye. Not.
So they have the solar plex. Solarplex? Is
They
that,
have the
is that what it's called?
the overthruster.
Solar agitator. Solex agitator.
The Solarplex is a
flux
workout
capacitor.
device. The flux capacitor.
The Ark of the Covenant.
The MacGuffin.
Yeah.
So now, at this point, mission accomplished.
Right.
They got what they needed to get.
Let's just get out of here.
All they have to do is leave.
And curtain.
Oh,
Let's
but
give it to-
no. Britt Eklund has to put
You dumbass.
Britt Eklund decides
She has the magnetic tracking device.
Yeah.
Stick it under the bumper like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
else does.
yeah,
You don't have to
yeah.
pick the lock.
Not only does she open the trunk, she takes a year to look in the trunk and then acts like she doesn't know what her hands do. She's like, put device in thing. Like, Britt, go. But a bit heavy on the Scandinavian models. Two girls from Sweden in this one. Yeah.
So, Lieutenant, they have to chase her down now in the back of Scaramaga's car.
Do you have to? Oh, look at that car. That color. You never see that color anymore.
Is it pewter? What is that?
It's like bronzy.
A whole new
Look, you
driving
guys,
experience.
right,
The AMC
gets
Matador.
an actual showroom in the movie. So much product placement. I don't want to say it's the 70s, but David Soul's driving the car.
What the hell is going on?
Chewing tobacco.
Now, I know you.
Oh, no.
You're that secret agent. That English secret agent from England. The one on all the magazine covers.
The world's best kept secret.
They got a statue of you in Piccadilly Square.
The comedy never stops in this one. You remember in the one before when they were in the boat race, boat chase, and he goes, he's a secret agent. He goes, for whose side?
That's what it is.
For whose side?
Chef J.W. Pepper. Nobody cuts and runs.
I saw that, you some bitch. I'm gonna barbecue your ass in molasses.
All right, are you skipping ahead because we got to talk about that corkscrew stunt?
Let's talk about
Yes,
it.
please.
One of the
Let's
best
talk about it.
stunts.
One of the greatest stunts and one of the most disappointing bits of audio of all.
I was going to say, the audio completely undermines the stunt.
Notorious bad call. I think John Barry has even said we shouldn't have done that.
No, they shouldn't, because the stunt is extraordinary.
Why is that John Barry's job to put that sound effect in?
I think they made him do it at the time. They thought it would. This was kind of a comedy-ass Bond movie, if you notice. It's
We're
not
talking about
played for thrills.
The slide whistle on the corkscrew.
Yeah.
So this is the
Yeah,
first
so if you don't
stunt
know-
ever designed by computer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
true.
physics of it. Yeah.
So they had to figure out if they could flip an AMC Matador fresh out of the showroom.
The interior of this car, the driver is lying down in the
Matador
middle.
means killer. You can't name your car the Killer.
Yes, you can. What about the Touareg?
What does that mean?
There's an SUV
Touareg,
named a
the
Touareg.
Touareg,
They're
yeah.
just a
Yeah, I
nomadic
know that.
tribe, but it means like, you know...
Yeah, and Tiguan.
Isn't it a...
Yeah.
There's a
Volkswagen?
Shogun
It is
as
a
well.
Volkswagen. Great cars. Check out the clean TDI clean diesel Passat.
Oh, I'll get some
great-
good gas mileage on
Great
that,
brand
right?
of cars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great brand of cars. Love them.
So, so what we're at a bridge that is built weirdly. Like, there's no reason for that bridge to really be broken in
sometimes
half
when
like
a
that.
bridge might be blown up because there might have been some sort of civil unrest, how it is blown up in a way that makes it a perfect helix.
Yeah, like some of the pylons are longer than the others.
Yeah.
all of a
Here,
sudden.
I have no problem with that because this movie's so heightened, and I love just seeing the perfect corkscrew shape, but then disguised as the dilapidated
Yeah.
Universal Studios bridge.
It is. That's great.
I love this.
I'm just grooving on his summer suit with the epaulets.
So the driver lies down, and his
You're
pedals are in the
not
back of the
thinking
car,
that
and he's completely in the center. The steering wheel's in the center because it has to be entirely symmetrical and balanced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure am, boy.
Oh, we do have to. I gotta hear that real quick one
Yeah.
more time. Just
Wait,
Roger Moore's American accent.
It's so
that's
good.
right.
God damn! What's going on? What the hell you doing now, boy?
A furious chew in his mouth.
That is awesome.
You're not thinking that.
I sure am, boy. Never heard of Evel Knievel?
Oh no!
You wasted it. The stunt couldn't be more perfect. He lands in exactly.
that one
and they
time,
really
right?
did do that stunt. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful
And they did it
stunt.
in one take, right?
Yeah.
If you did that now and you did it CG, you wouldn't make it that perfect because it looks too right. It's
And if I remember correctly, the story from the thing was that Cubby Broccoli walked over to the stuntman after he did it first take and just handed him a $100 bill.
Oh, really?
For like
Whole
a
$100.
bonus for doing it.
$100.
No, the story is that he said it looked very perfect. Could we do it again? And that guy goes, no.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing stunt.
Sorry if it's too perfect for you.
The slide whistle, though. Oh my
Are you
goodness.
shitting me?
But it's weird. It's like one of those scenes like in Saving Private Ryan when an explosion goes off and the grenade suddenly just makes everything silent.
Yeah.
The ear ringing.
Yeah, yeah.
All you hear is a fucking slide whistle. There's
yeah.
nothing. All the other sound cuts out. And you
I would
just
love
hear
a
slide
recut of Saving Private Ryan with a bunch of slide whistles. This moment.
Sieg Heil.
When all the gates come down and the lander is on
The mortars. Splash. Yeah.
When Adam Goldberg is slowly getting the knife driven into his chest.
Uh-oh, looks like the Americans are in trouble.
Ever heard of Evel Knievel?
Earn this.
Ever heard of Evel Knievel? Here's some other...
Fuck you.
I didn't even realize
And it's just so that they can have the joke of the sheriff being thrown into the back seat, which is supposed to paralyze you with laughter at that point.
Yeah. And it sure did. A lot of kids laughing back then.
Man.
We thought it was funny.
So they track with the tracker that
Mary Goodnight.
Mary Goodnight. Holly Goodhead.
Yeah.
I got my goods mixed up.
Understandable.
Good night, Goodhead. That was
luck.
the original name for Clooney's Academy Award winning
Yeah,
piece.
that was, who was it?
Good night, Goodhead.
Was it Murrow? Who had that sign off?
Good night, good luck. Edward R. Murrow.
Yeah. Good night and good head. I'm Edward Murrow.
Good night and good head.
So we're just about to get to the climax of this movie.
I wish.
I'm Edward R. Trench.
Trench.
You can call me Newsy Galore.
Newsy galore.
And as Eisenhower steps down on his final day of his presidency, we bid you good night and good head.
My name is Chin Reedswell.
Oh, God. I'm Cleft Sewer Love.
What? Sewer love.
Well, it just happened.
So James, now they know where he is.
Samantha Drinkbeeve.
Drinkbeeve.
Drink beef. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God. Samantha
Oh, golly.
Drinkbeef.
Hi, I'm Grand Canyon. Here's my sister, Foxhole.
I will say, once James Bond lands the plane and gets it's the best Roger Moore has ever looked in a James Bond
Yeah, it
movie.
is.
When he gets
And the
out
plane
of
is
the-
awesome. It has to be said.
Look at that! Look at that!
That's high. You could serve dinner on.
Look at that!
Yeah. He looks good there.
Oh, he's hot. He's hot stuff.
He has good hair.
That's an ironing board, not a tie.
Yeah, it is. Also, that's the best part when he flies through you get a little scenery there.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
nice.
Look at that
He
snub
takes his
nose.
coat with him. He takes
Yeah.
his coat with him.
Honey, I'm going to lunch. I'm a gentleman.
Because there is lunch later on. Lunch will be served.
I am Nick Nack.
Nick Nack's original character name was Demi-Tass.
Over 62.
Really, that's funny.
Yeah.
Still, beats a bag of peanuts.
Monsieur Scaramanga will welcome you personally.
I couldn't do it.
Forgive me, Mr. Bond. A vulgar display, but I couldn't resist it.
Tabasco!
Because I am so delighted to see you again.
Nick Nack!
There was originally a second little person named Tabasco.
Cholula!
Mimosas!
Sriracha!
Chipotle flavor!
We have so much in common, Mr. Bond.
Veganese!
We have so much to discuss. We've never had so much to discuss. Ours is the only expression, so let's how
Poop on!
Oh, my goodness.
Worcestershire sauce!
Nutella!
Bovril.
Bovril.
Remember Bovril?
Vaguely.
So James comes to the island. He's gonna rescue Goodnight, and he's gonna get the Solex back.
By the way, Goodnight has been trapped at the island with Scaramanga, evidently just sort of hanging around in a bikini for weeks.
Well, he needs a new lady.
She's admitted that she's weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very weak.
Also, by the way, she's supposed to be an acting British agent in the field, by the way, in case at this point you've forgotten entirely what her character's supposed to be.
Why is she not doing any kind of reconnaissance or sabotage? No.
And her hair's bitching. And then when he meets her and she's like, this is what you learn being in the field, you're like, you're the stupidest person that's ever been in a Bond movie. Like, I don't think there's another character in any of the movies that provides less information.
I would agree with that. She is the dumbest character.
Of all the agents, usually the agents go, I found the thing, come with me, and then they get shot. She just like, hey, I've been here for a couple weeks. It's pretty awesome. Been sunning, wearing some heels.
And she's bumbling. Also, don't they go like, women? Like when she goes in the trunk, they actually do an eye roll. It's like, God, women.
Right.
Really shitty.
Oh, there's our album art right there. Our podcast art comes from this.
Except, here's to us, Mr.
As soon as I
best at
finish
what we
this
do.
delicious lunch that Nick Nack has prepared.
Oh, my favorite line. She comes in the bikini, and Christopher Lee goes, I like a girl in the bikini. No concealed weapons.
That you know of.
Will
Look at that shot.
This is a duel à la mort.
That's a great shot.
Duel à la mort.
Only one of you can leave the field of honor.
The outfit they've given her right here is
If a coup de
awesome.
grâce is necessary,
Just get back from asking.
as your referee,
He's Andrew Jackson's valet.
I will administer it myself. I do not expect rules.
Hello.
Look at Craw.
Kill.
Yeah, Craw's just giving the once over
On
to
my
Britt.
command,
Her tummy is
each
shocking.
contestant
Her
will take
acting is
20
shocking.
pesos.
Oh, no, she's
Are you
made to be
ready,
a...
Monsieur
Her abs are as
Scaramanga?
flat as her performance.
Oh, no. Yeah. You could surf on her.
Look how tall.
Ready?
Here we are.
Are you
he's
ready,
so
Monsieur
tall.
Bond?
Ready?
Well, because
I will
isn't
now
Roger
begin
Moore
the
like
count.
6'3"?
Yeah, Roger Moore's tall.
He's
One.
not quite that, but
2,
Dalton's the tallest.
3,
Is he?
Yeah,
4,
I know. I wouldn't have thought
five.
that.
Connery's not? Oh, no,
No.
Connery's like 6'1".
I will say this: I was in Vegas last week, and I just foolishly I decided to go into the Planet Hollywood just to see what they got hanging on the walls.
Sure.
And the Skyfall tuxedo was there.
Oh, that's where you sent
Daniel
that from.
Craig. Yeah, Daniel Craig's tuxedo from
tall is he?
Skyfall is there.
Short.
I could have probably fit into that, but my socks would have been showing.
Oh, he's short.
Yeah. Yeah.
That short, is he? Is
He
he the
is.
shortest Bond?
He's like 5'9",
He's like
5'10".
he's like
like
Hervé
3
Villechaize
times.
size.
No one is that smart.
He probably goes by 5'11". He probably
Right.
says he's 5'11".
Look
but
at
he
the
is-
scenery in
there's
this
no
scene.
way
now.
he's 5'11".
Sensational.
I gotta look that up.
Okay, Matt's gonna look
Yeah,
up.
Britt
this.
Eklund's, she's rocking good news in this.
Yeah.
But, oh my goodness.
She's got that Goldie Hawn body.
The delivery, though.
Oh,
and
she's-
when she's just standing there, she's like, glurf. You're like, what's happening? Are you okay?
And Craw, who looks enough like Jesse Jackson for my money, his character, they become pals at some point.
Yeah.
According to the internet, which we know to be absolutely accurate.
Oh, no
at
question.
all times.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lazenby's 6'2", Moore is 6'1", Brosnan 6'1", Connery 6'1.5".
There's no way Pierce Brosnan is 6'1".
Yeah,
I've
this
seen
is-
him in
this
person,
can't
and
be
he's
right.
5'8", 5'9".
I've seen that graphic before. Let me find this
Yeah.
other one. Okay, here we go.
Because I feel like Connery's.
Well, then Tom Cruise is 6'1", if Pierce Brosnan's 6'1".
I could see
You
Pierce
can-
being tall. No?
No, he's not that tall.
he stands.
He's really good looking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he
he's
is.
dead good
Yeah,
looking.
yeah.
He's all right.
If you like studly dudes with lantern jaws and lots of hair.
Timothy Dalton, not a great Bond, but he was young with Lion in Winter.
Yeah.
Like, he was like just wow. Like
Yeah. Oh, no, he's a
like,
stunner.
he's like a model, good looking.
How tall do you think each of the 5 James Bonds are? Oh, this must be pre.
I don't know.
Craig. All right, don't wait for me. Go ahead.
Oh.
Don't cry for me.
Please don't. Lazenby 6'2", and these are all different. You know,
No,
Is this up still?
you've
Oh,
gone,
internet.
You know what you went to? ErroneousFacts.com.
I did. Well, that's where I go every time.
Hearsay.
Claptrap.net.
Gobbledygook.org.
But it's where President Romney. What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? President Romney? What?
That's right.
You mean President Palin?
I just want to. Let's just hear Nick Nack.
All right, Mr. Bond. Monsieur Bond. Mr. Bond.
I was raised in a circus. My favorite elephant.
It's over there, Mr. Bond. Monsieur, good shooting.
I've never killed a midget before. But there can always be a first time.
Oh, monsieur.
And then I think he checks him out, right?
You know we skip past is the creepy moment when he's on the bed and he gets really weird with Burt Eklund. He's like, it's just starting to tell the
I put
truth.
up a vine of that. Yeah.
Oh, God, that's really funny.
Yeah, now you're finally starting to tell the truth. And then he does this look.
Like his lewds just kicked in.
This is prime lewd era, by the way.
There were lewds on this.
Oh, no, this is prime lewd era. We didn't have your Adderall and your Molly and whatnot then. We had your lewds and your tie stick.
Your bennies, your Dexies.
Oh, your Dexies and your bennies. Whites, cross-tops.
Rainbows are lewds.
Yeah, we had a lot of great...
Your drink beefs.
Yeah, we had drink beefs.
There's Tiffany Huffcrotch.
We were drinking tequila sunrises and Harvey Wallbangers, and Rusty Nails.
Tequila sunrise.
Tequila sunrise is one of the most vile drinks of all time. You want tequila to churn more in your stomach? Put some orange juice in it.
So James...
and do a line, because that'll really kick it in.
With the help of Nick
Tia
Mac,
Maria.
James gets into the I don't know what we'll call it, the game field.
Yeah, what?
The shooting range.
Well, no, this is like, look
and now
how
he goes
little
underneath.
money it
He
is,
drops his
son.
gun into an abyss.
Yeah,
Right.
which just echo, and Scaramanga's like, I've never heard that sound before.
Who's Stalin behind him?
Right.
What is that?
That's probably the trainer that killed the elephant.
Yes, I shot him in the eye.
I emptied my pistol.
An eye for an eye is such an awful line. This one really, oof. Clunk.
So here's my question now. So James now gets out from under there.
Finds his gun.
Finds or just grabs the gun from the James Bond
Evidently,
mannequin.
the James Bond wax figure is using a real gun.
And well, you're glossing over
That's
the fact
loaded,
that
by the way.
He had time to get into that mannequin's
Time to
costume.
get into that suit. Well, maybe he just put the coat on.
Maybe.
We don't know.
It is pretty ingenious.
But I feel like James Bond's the kind of guy who would then take that mannequin home.
Yeah. Spoil the war.
Harvey is looking. The bad Capone. Al, wherever you are.
And by the way, Funhouse, really, you guys?
I know.
This is in Asia, in an island lair, and he's built a funhouse with Star Trek lighting.
With the most Star Trek lighting I've ever seen in a James Bond picture.
Yeah, really.
That's the Salt Planet, where McCoy...
Me no kill.
Powder blue. Scaramanga wearing powder blue. Or it's the lighting.
Now you see his fingers are there, guys, so we know something's up.
Oh, yeah. Suck it.
That was a Hammer horror dying take there, by the way.
Yeah, really.
That was a straight-up vampire take. My nipple.
Unceremonious.
He had a powerful weapon, but now he's lying there in the floor. Oh, a little more Brit.
Did he come
There
before,
we go.
I wonder if he came before the kill.
That was that.
She does look tremendous.
That
in the
was not a
bikini.
death scene. That was a
And her hair is fantastic.
petite death.
Oh.
Watch it. Oh, freeze on that sign.
Oh, absolute zero must be maintained at all times.
No, that's
right?
from Dr. No. This one is
abrupt
prompt criticality. It's like pure jargon.
Prompt criticality.
Watch, they'll show it again.
Also, by the way, again,
They showed it again.
may I point out that she's
there.
Absolute zero must be taken to prevent.
Prompt criticality. So it will very quickly go critical.
God.
She's an agent, a secret agent, and we've already established that if anything goes in these pools,
These completely uncovered, exposed to the elements.
liquid helium,
inviting.
If the temperature rises a degree
above 432 degrees,
notwithstanding the giant sign that's been there the whole movie that says absolute zero.
And also, you know that you put a black man in some helium, you know it's going to drop that temperature.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the fastest way to drop a temperature.
And
Actually, that's
she
what
knocks
they
him
use
in,
the
and then later, I believe, activates the device with her butt.
Yep.
Yeah.
She sure does.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's the
She sure
world's
does.
greatest secret agent.
Because she's Lou Costello in this one.
I'm a bad boy.
There's
I'm a bad secret agent.
There's probably a line of dialogue that was cut out
I'm
of the
sorry,
film
Ace.
where she's like M's
shouldn't
niece or
have.
something.
What?
Like she's like
I know, it seems like
there should be like
I want look after her.
look after her. She's my niece after all. You know, her father tried, but we have her now.
She looks sensation in the bikini. There's no question, and high heels, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's
that
the
bikini
combo.
is rocking good.
As the stuff starts blowing
She's-
up.
This is like
She's dressed for the Hard Rock pool.
yeah. This is an LL Cool J video outfit. Heels and a bikini.
Heels, tall,
bikini.
small.
Oh boy.
She said she liked the ocean.
When all this starts blowing up and she's running out, she's really afraid for her life, and when she falls down, you can see it that they kept it in. She's really falling.
And she hurts her. She falls right on her kneecaps. This is not a good fall.
Ouch!
Oh, when the thing's blowing up.
And
Right.
I hate when they leave actors like getting hurt in movies. I just saw, for some reason, I'd never seen Return of the Living Dead, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And they don't tell the girl that the stairs are broken, apparently. And she really hurts herself.
Yeah. And they leave it in. And
they got to do this whole scene.
You haven't seen Return of the Living Dead? I love that.
It's great.
I showed that at last Halloween. Ooh, my butt.
So it's very.
She's completely worthless in this scene.
No, I mean, she turns
This
on
is
the
a great
nuclear
stunt.
thing with her
This
butt.
is a great stunt.
Yeah.
That's a great
Here it
stunt.
is. This is the exact. Look, she's
freaking
fearful
out.
for her life.
Yeah, but it's when they run out.
Great miniature work. Here he goes.
Yeah.
Bing.
Ow.
Ow.
My
And then
knees.
he leaves her behind.
My ankles, my knees.
I landed on my knees. Keys.
She landed on her bikini.
I think he asked her if she likes.
Swim, good night.
This way.
This way.
She's finally useful.
It's moored around the corner.
His junk was moored before this movie got going.
Moore's junk.
It's Roger Moore's junk.
I love the way Hervé Villechaize bites the knife when he's coming out of this.
Oh, he bites it totally wrong.
He bites the edge.
Yeah, he bites the edge.
The sharp edge.
Also, he's inside her here and he's watching.
This is not how you bite a knife. You bite the non-sharp parts.
Jeff Davis, knife biter.
Also, that would be terrifying. Seeing him up there. No!
And first he gets it with his tongue, too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that shit.
You could also put the handle in your mouth if you were.
Yeah.
Now, why would you do that?
Also, he just took it right out to hold it again.
That was not.
How often did this happen at Peter Sellers' house?
ready
Let's get
to-
into this for real. She must have been so used to midgets dropping from the ceiling.
Let's get ready to exploit short people.
Mm-hmm.
Kick of the shins.
I'm smart.
Roll onto the couch.
I hit you.
Now here's
Breakaway chair.
He breaks the chair into an H shape that's perfectly suited for this task. Like, is this in the script?
Hervé.
And what's he trying to do? Poke his eyes out under there? Oh, Mr. Bond.
And he just pushes him, and then he runs over to the wine case.
Yes, this only lacks yakety sax playing. in the
Right.
Empty wine.
Oh, and by the way, bare feet.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought
yeah.
That would suck.
Don't you hurt Britt Eklund.
Shoot the glass.
Literally no liquid anywhere. There would be red wine or... Wow.
Look at that groovy stereo on that boat, though.
And he finds the right size
I
suitcase.
found the knick-knack-sized suitcase.
And somehow he just goes right in it. He doesn't even have to do anything.
He knows.
Squash.
I can breathe. Ow! You'll be sorry.
You'll be sorry.
But I never forget.
That's funny.
Jaws comes back, but he becomes an ally. This is the only henchman that's gone on. Oh, there's Baron Samedi from Live and Let Die
Yeah.
at the front of the train.
I love Baron Samedi. Jeff Holder's the greatest
he's
actor
so
of all
great.
time.
So great.
Hello, Skins. That's what I'm talking about.
Name 3 presidents.
Yeah. And I didn't clean up the gloss on the floor either. Roger looks good in this one, man.
I think he always looks good.
His tan's doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, his tan is fantastic.
He's 46 here.
Is he
46,
really?
47. Yeah, he's 4 years older than Connery to begin with.
Yeah.
He's 45 when he started in Live and Let Die.
Our headphones. Oh. Did we just lose power?
Yeah, something happened. I can't hear anything.
No, you still hear us? Aristotle hears us. We're going to keep going.
All right.
And we're still
Regardless of
recording,
the depth of this
okay?
thing. Yeah. Listen,
I
that
can't hear
works for me.
anything. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm taking it off.
All right, so
We're about to dismount anyway.
I did get to meet Roger Moore once years ago,
let's
and
hear
I'll make
this.
the story short. I did Prince Charles' 50th birthday. This is years ago, and
God.
it was and Robbie Williams had that "You Only Live Twice" jam.
Yeah.
You know, the dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Yeah.
So I met Desmond Llewellyn, who was sitting backstage, who they'd brought out simply to hand a Walther PPK to Robbie Williams. And Robbie was nice and stuff. And then Roger Moore was talking to Stephen Fry, I think, and Stephen Fry and I were in the dressing room all day. So I barged up to him and I went, "Hi, Roger Moore. My name's Greg Proops." And he went, "Oh." And that was it. I got nothing from him. Desmond Llewellyn, of course, was really nice.
Because you had been on Whose Line.
I don't think he knew who I was or why I felt the temerity to go up and that I had given myself leave to address him.
It's what you might call a Mexican screw-up.
It was, and I wish I'd said that to him at the time.
His response to that would have just been,
yes.
as well.
No, he was not the politest person. Because I met Sean Connery, dead polite. I met Britt Eklund, and she was dead polite. And but yeah, Roger Moore. The time of day was not to be given to me.
What was your Connery meeting?
My friend Mike McShane was in the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He played Friar Tuck, and we all went to lunch one day on the set, the one day that Sean shot, and I got to eat lunch with him that day in the town. So it was pretty good. And he went, hello. And then at the end we went, goodbye, and Mike went, goodbye, Mr. Connery. It was nice working with you. And Sean Connery went, oh, bye-bye. We high-fived for about the rest of the day.
Didn't you see him in a theater? Didn't you sit behind him in some movie theater?
Jennifer went to see Man Who Would Be King at the Edinburgh Film Festival years ago. I was invited to go. I had a gig that night, so she went with our friend Sue, and he was. This is Scotland in a nutshell. It wasn't a restruck print of The Man Who Would Be King. It was a crappy print that had hair in the gate and the burn, countdown, and like sepia tone scenes that were ratty, and. As they were coming in, and this is Sean Connery's night, right? And Robert Carlyle's there, like every Skinner's got a star. And Michael Caine was introducing him, right? So they walk in, and she goes, someone's vacuuming in the lobby. Oh, no, I'll be done in a minute. Just sit here.
Oh, my God.
We haven't fucking finished yet. I'm not coming in early. So she said Michael Caine got up, and he got a huge hand, and he went, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the president of Scotland. I give you your president. And Sean Connery got up, 10 minutes of standing out. And this is in Edinburgh, where he's from, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, it was nothing. I mean, Jeff and I always talk about this because Quentin Crisp said there's an element of performing is being able to accept applause, that some performers are about the applause. It's not so much that they're so great, it's not so much anything, as they're able to accept love, unconditional love. And Jennifer said, Sean Connery stood up there. Michael Caine's a great star, and everybody loved him. Michael Caine has an intellect and edge to him. He's not open to the public. I'm my person. She said, Sean Connery stood there for 5 minutes.
Absorbed.
And the crowd, the more he stood there, the more the crowd.
His Highlander lightning came
just
into
love. You're standing there, and then, it was nothing. And everybody,
So have you met more than 2 James Bonds? Have you met?
Pierce Brosnan you've seen in real life.
Pierce I saw at Edinburgh at another, because he's from Edinburgh as well.
Yep.
And
he's from Ireland.
A lot of them are Scottish. And then Roger Moore I touched, so that's goddamn. I met 2. I met 2.
That's something.
I never met Tim Dalton.
I've met Lazenby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something.
Yeah.
He's really
It's
something.
hard to not meet.
Yeah, he really is.
He
goes out of his way to meet you. I mean, he'll come to your house.
He's actually in the comic book store right now.
I did waylay Diana Rigg once with my wife. She was walking. We went to see Medea, and she was on the West End doing Medea, which is a play for your listeners. And
not Tyler Perry's Medea.
Not Tyler Perry's Medea, the original Medea. And let me tell you something. If you thought being a drag queen and a black drag queen is difficult now, in ancient Greece, so difficult. When Jason and the Argonauts leave you and you have to kill your children, and you're wearing that, girl. Diana Rigg gave
Hallelujah.
And this is the thing, like great actresses, especially ones that are trained in Britain. Like I remember, and I'll finish the story very quickly. Angela Lansbury being interviewed on Fresh Air or whatever, and they play her doing Mama Rose and Gypsy, right? And it's that big number at the end, Mama's coming out, da 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 da. And then Terry Gross says to Angela Lansbury, "Well, how could you be so emotional on stage and then afterward you didn't feel anything?" And she went, "It's acting, dear." Like, you idiot.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the emotions. I'm an actor. I'm acting them. We saw Diana Rigg do Medea. At the end of the play, she's got her children's blood on her, right? Yeah. She's raising her hands. She's cursing the gods. The set falls down around her. It was brilliantly done. Giant metal pieces slamming down. The most extraordinary ending. She's alone on stage. Wait for her out. She comes off stage. This is 10 minutes later after the show's over. In a full-length mink. And like knee-high boots. And Diana Rigg's fucking tall.
Is she
right?
really?
Yeah, she's 5'9",
yeah.
and in the boots
No
she's
kidding.
6'1",
Yeah.
right?
Oh, my God.
She comes out, and it was as if she had just parked her car, right? Like there's no... 10 minutes ago, you were covered in your children's blood screaming at the gods. And we follow her down the street, and she put a pound coin in a homeless guy's cup as she walked. And then we went, "Excuse me, Miss Rigg," and she wheeled on us, right? And we were like, "We liked you a lot of the play." And she, "Thank you very much." And then boom, gone.
God bless her.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was very exciting indeed.
Wow. I could hear you tell those stories.
Dinah
The next
Rigg.
2 hours, which we will do. Let's go. We have one last thing we have to cover ourselves before this thing.
Sure.
And that is, you guys can weigh in on this as well. Last podcast,
yes.
we were at odds as to what the worst moment in a James Bond film is. And I think both have credence. Matt's is
Yep.
the pigeon double take in the movie Moonraker, where they do a camera trick where the pigeon goes whoop, like that.
Okay, I forgot about that.
Mine is
Yikes.
the Kananga balloon, where Yaphet Kotto blows up like a balloon.
Yeah, I don't like that part. I don't like
So
that part.
I have to say, we did a Twitter thing where we did either hashtag
Kananga
pigeon
balloon.
or pigeon double take, and I think I will admit pigeon double take has won, but Kananga balloon rallied a lot.
It
in the
did,
end.
yeah.
yeah.
Towards
But
the
I
end.
think there are more pigeon double takes.
You had late money for Kananga Balloon?
Yeah.
It's a terrible way to kill him too. He's such a great
Yeah,
villain.
it's-
I
it
love
really-
Kananga.
so-
Names is for tombstones.
Where do you guys fall on that, or do
Names
you
is for
have
tombstones, baby?
do you have another worst moment? Because the slide whistle came up.
Moonraker in general.
Also, Bond in a clown suit in Octopussy.
I was
But
gonna say the
but
one with Steven
I'll defend
Berkoff.
that.
Yeah.
but
I like that.
I'll defend that because he's he has to do that.
he's undercover.
Like it shows his like not vulnerability, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like his
Jimmy Stewart in Greatest Show on Earth.
desperation. Yeah, at least it's merited in the plot.
Yeah. Because it's the agent that dies in the beginning in the clown suit,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Surely one of the Tim Dalton ones, like where he's shaking with the gun. That's kind of a bad.
Shaking
Remember,
with the
because he's sort of scaredy in the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, in Living Daylights.
Yeah, he's a little.
yeah.
He's a nervous Bond.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's not cocksure and sadistic.
Well,
he's
here's
a little
as,
like, oh God, I'm gonna
as
be
you
killed.
guys are thinking, let me just say the following.
The video game and Never Say Never is pretty.
Although you got Klaus laying
I love him, and if not, I cut it off.
Oh, he's so good in there.
The,
He walks right up to the edge.
The pigeon double take. Here's why I think it's the worst. It does nothing.
Yeah.
It does not move the plot forward. It does
Well,
not do
I
anything.
think I have to say that you've won that.
Yeah,
so that
but I'm
we'll
just letting you
call
know.
that.
Moonraker
That's why
for
I
me
take
might be
that
the
over.
worst of
I'm
all
gonna
of
say
them. It's bad.
Look, if you blow a guy up and you have your special effects don't quite carry the day, that's just a bummer. The pigeon double take is what movie? Like, fucking have a pie fight. Like what movie are you making?
But he went on to then put not pigeon double takes, but a pigeon in every Bond movie from there on out. It's his trademark.
Well, that's just dumb.
That one has the space fight that's so slow and awful.
Oh, yeah.
I remember seeing it in the theater and hating it. But there's already a space fight in the You Only Live Twice. They have the space guys in that
Yeah,
one.
it's
and
interesting. Like the whole thing that people thought would happen in space is that for some reason everything would move very slow.
Yeah.
Whereas there's nothing to stop you from moving as fast as you want to. It's space.
Moonraker's a weaky doodle. Well, he sleeps with every single girl with no preamble in that movie, as I recall. It gets worse and worse and worse.
Nothing has a preamble.
There's-
All the set
right.
pieces, everything is
Like the one where in Live and Let Die, there's the black girl and all that, and like he sleeps with all the girls, but then there's usually like I love you, good night, whatever. In that one, it's just boom, 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 and then later there's the one with is it Carol Bouquet where he doesn't sleep with her at all. He doesn't sleep with any girls in one of them. They like remove that.
Living Daylights.
No, no, it's a Roger Moore one. It's but it's like an 80s one.
For Your Eyes Only?
Yeah, For Your Eyes
Yeah.
Only. He doesn't. He has like one girl in that one, and through the whole of the movie.
Yeah, because the ice
It
skater
gets too
girl's
hectic
trying to
at
hit
one
on
point.
him.
Like, there has to be some sort of like come on.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in
Well, that
which
was the
one
one
is
that-
it where the girl he's in the spa and he keeps trying to hit on the girl and then basically he, if you'll pardon the expression, violates her up against the glass.
Oh, that's a Brosnan, right?
No, it's a Connery one, and it's an early one. He gets caught on the.
Thunderball. Oh, yeah, Thunderball.
He's pretty rapey in that.
Thunderball is extraordinarily rapey.
Yeah, he's real rapey. Because remember, the girl's just like, I don't want any of that. And he's like, oh yeah, you do.
Here it is.
And then up against the glass, and I remember as like a 7-year-old in the theater going like, oh no,
like a Flashman novel.
Oh yeah, it's just straight up Flashman. Yeah, like I think I know what you want, darling. But yeah, the Roger Moore ones. Who's the hottest of all the? I still think Ursula Andress.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think Carol Bouquet is astoundingly beautiful, but
that movie
Ursula
is-
Andress makes Britt Eklund look like a boy.
For Your Eyes Only is the biggest age disparity. Bond is 53. She's 23 in that
Ouch.
movie. Yeah.
Is there a
30 years-
Carrie Otis one? Is that the Your Eyes Only?
Carrie Otis.
Yeah, isn't Carrie Otis in one of them as well? And I also love the girl in Thunderball, Claudine Auger, I think her name is.
Yeah,
The,
that's
Holy
where we
kittens.
landed, right? That's where we landed.
She gets stung on
We
the
love
foot
her, yeah.
by a stingray, and
Yeah.
James Bond goes, flip over.
Both the women in
And you're
that
like,
movie.
how many times did he say that in his career?
Fiona
and she flips
Volpe.
over and he puts her foot in his mouth and goes, like that. And you're like, that is good stuff. This is good movie making. I don't care what happens in this movie. This is like an Oreo before the roller coaster, man. Like, wow. Flip over. You're chewing your foot for a while.
Jeff Davis and Greg Proops.
Guys, this comes out on Thursday of this week. Is there anything you'd like to promote?
I got nothing.
Jeff's on a show called Harmontown that you can hear every week. It's very humorous.
Harmontown, yeah, we
Right
do
here
it
in this building.
We do it live every Sunday here at Meltdown Comics, and it comes out usually Monday afternoon, and it's weird and good fun. And you can see Greg and I once in a while guest on Whose Line Is It Anyway on the CW network,
which is showing 17 times a week now, because we're evidently we did it on a Venezuelan television station in the 60s. We're also I have my own show called The Smartest Man in the World. It's free to download on iTunes, and I have another, if you like movies, of a film podcast called Greg Proops Film Club, and that comes out like every other Friday kind of thing, twice a month. Anyway, we're showing Bull Durham on the 28th over at the Cine Family. So that's our. I picked it. It's our summertime movie.
I also
and
have a-
God damn it, it's 25 years old, which makes me feel unbelievably old.
Also, this Wednesday, I have a live nude review at La Cita called Hot Male Ball Worship.
No, you don't. It's not live.
That's 7:30 and 9.
What's your dancing? Drink beef?
That's
Drink beef.
It's Boner Killington.
Wagstaff Loadjoy is his name.
Loadjoy.
Wagstaff Loadjoy. Staff wag.
It's a real staff wagger.
So
well, by now,
thank you for
also-
having me on.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
guys.
it.
It was
a blast.
Plugging our
Appreciate it.
podcasts.
I hope we got most of that right. And
I
don't
think
get lots
so.
of
In the end, this movie is very fun and satisfying, despite the corn
Yeah.
pound and despite everything that doesn't work and
Yeah, I will
hideous
say,
misogyny and racism.
When Matt and I watched it the other night at his crib, when it was over, we looked at it and said, "That's a goodie."
Yeah, and we were literally
You're not
in a
sad
crib.
at the end.
Yeah.
You're happy.
Yeah.
If you have a couple drinks too, maybe
Yeah.
some whatever, some
Yeah.
lewds. This one really pumps up. It's not in the lower third. It's in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
in the middle
Yeah.
portion. If the
Yeah.
top 5 are the Sean Connery ones
What I
and
do
the
is
bottom ones are the Tim Dalton ones, then this one comes somewhere in
I
there.
recommend renting this, pop 2 blues, and have a Kahlua.
Makes me want to watch it all over again.
Because I mean, are the Tim Dalton ones kind of the?
Tim Dalton. Well,
my
I don't
least
know.
favorite are the Brosnans.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, the
for
Brosnans.
record,
The
yeah.
Brosnans aren't good.
Yeah.
Those aren't actually very good.
No.
no.
They're
Yeah.
rough.
But this one's not in that realm. This one's right below the Connery ones, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
What would you say the best one is? Goldfinger?
You want to know what our favorite is?
Yeah, I do.
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
You mean the Daniel
new-
Craig
yeah,
one?
yeah.
Oh, because the 60s one's on.
And then, well,
is that
no,
what you're talking
before
about? That one?
Before,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
but my second favorite one is From Russia with Love.
That's my favorite.
I
Yeah.
love From Russia.
Yeah.
That for me, that's everything you want out of a Bond.
Yeah, it
movie.
is.
I absolutely
It actually
agree.
combines all the elements better than Goldfinger.
I agree with that.
And Goldfinger's
100%.
not.
I think that
the best
the
Bond
danger
one.
is
That's
high
what
on
we
the
found
stakes.
rewatching
not.
Goldfinger. It's not.
And Robert Shaw.
Pussy Galore,
the villain.
Robert Shaw.
Fucking Robert.
Oh,
Plus, they go to
the best.
Japan in it. They go
Yeah.
to Europe in it. It's got a lot of good stuff.
He
in
throws
it.
pee in a guy's face.
Yeah, he does. It's
Fucking
really
got
good.
it
Really
all.
good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So by the time you listen to this, we will have had a great time at the Cinespia Goldfinger screening.
Yeah,
tonight.
we were there tonight.
Hopefully, we got to meet you, and you were great. You.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. We appreciate it.
Are you guys going to that
Yeah,
tonight?
you
Yeah.
want to come?
No, I can't.
All right.
Thank you, though.
You don't want to
enough.
sit outside and watch a movie at a fucking.
I've seen
graveyard
Goldfinger a
that
million
takes-
times. It's very good. No, Mr. Bob. I expect you to die.
It's like listening to the Beatles without earmuffs.
Also, when he gets sucked, I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody. Now, he's not as good as Lottie Lanya with the
she's
knife
the
in her
best.
shoe.
She's the
That's
best.
good stuff.
It's great.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Robert Shaw's just the greatest baddie.
Punching him in the stomach.
Robert Shaw, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for listening, all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll be
James
return.
Bonding will
return with the Living Daylights or a Mission Briefing.
Yeah, more likely.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
James Bonding Podcast. James Bonding Podcast. It's the 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 James Bonding Podcast with Matthews, Myra, and Gorley. Matthews, Gorley, and Myra. Podcast of James Bond. Matthews, Gorley, and Myra. Podcast of James Bond. James Bonding Podcast. James Bonding Podcast, James Bonding Podcast, James Bonding Podcast, Matt and James Bonding Podcast.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.